by, we're gonna give it a shot, and we're gonna be just chatting and probably not debating as much as complaining. So, but a different kind of complaint. A complaint about things we enjoy.
I think
that sometimes,
yeah, is the best description.
Goodness, there's so many people.
We are live now, so.
Okay.
All
right, so.
We can do our 2 or 3 person, person
limit. That'd be great.
Yeah. Limit. That's what I was looking for. That'd be interesting.
Well, what we're gonna be doing first off is, it's not original, so don't worry. We don't think we're cool or anything, but we're gonna be
almost no such thing.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about Screw Attack a little bit, and maybe we'll move on to some other topics. But I feel like Screw Attack's probably gonna be most.
I want to give a little explanation too.
No, absolutely not.
Probably something.
Nope.
Maybe not.
I think should.
Everyone's seen it.
No, it should act under the like if they just so happen to see it, or maybe they're bored and like, hey, let me actually check this out to see what the hubbub is about.
I mean, it's been it's been out for like a couple days. If you're interested in watching it, you would have watched already.
Yeah, they're not underground. They're pretty big on YouTube.
Really?
I mean, let me.
They have their own site, don't they?
I mean, they have their own channel. Yeah, actually, they have even more. They have an actual dedicated Death Battle channel.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I mean, it's been a long time since I've actually looked at any other videos of
their channel has.
I remember they had their own website back in the day.
Their channel has 4.32 million subscribers, and the video was released a day ago and has 1.3 million views.
A lot of
so they're not. It's like if anyone's like, "Hey, spoilers," it's like, well, that's your fault.
Pretty much. So you'll never guess who Darth Vader truly is.
I mean, sure. I guess spoilers if you haven't seen the video that 1.3 million other people are seeing, and if you don't want to hear about this, then it's fine.
Yeah.
But we're going to be talking about it.
If you know what Screw Attack is and you haven't seen the video, do so now. If you have no idea what Screw Attack is, then don't worry about it, because I wouldn't recommend them.
Full disclosure.
Their other content's not bad.
Full disclosure.
I would recommend their Death Battle series. Let me say that. Because I don't watch any of their other content. I haven't in a very long time.
I'm talking about their older content. Their older content is bad.
I don't even remember what it is, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, they're a subsequent channel of Rooster Teeth, which they've been under hot water recently as well. But personally, it's like, they're a company. Just get over it.
A shitty company.
Not too. I mean, a little bit. But.
Well, let me say that they have shitty people. I don't know if every single one of them are backstabbers, but too many for my liking. I would not work at Rooster Teeth. I would just say that.
Well, that's the thing is, like, I know people complain because it's just like, and yes, well, I know we're already getting off topic, but that means it's a good stream.
Exactly.
But their complaints, like, they always act like they're still like, down to earth, your friends, but they're this big company. It's like, well, that's not necessarily their fault that they want to act this way, but they are just a bigger company now. I mean,
I would say, I think the people who really stand the test of times are people who can keep some sense of humility, right? Like, if I give you a big example, obviously I play a lot of fighting games, and the best in the world are just regular people. Just regular, go up, shake their hand, take a picture with them, have a fun conversation. Maybe you play a few matches and they freaking cream you, and then they go about their day. Despite how much money they make out of this, and the top players, they make some serious dough, especially if you're playing Street Fighter. Holy moly. Oh, yeah, and forget it. If you're sponsored by Monster, which I can think of a few people that are, you're rolling in money, and yet these people just wear, like, jeans, shirts.
Well, apparently, as far as sponsors go, Monster is not a bad one. Because they are like,
it's a fantastic
because they're like, do you play a sport? Yeah, we'll sponsor you. I mean, they're better than some. Like, I remember some of the Achievement Hunter guys from Rooster Teeth were also talking about like an energy drink company called Bang. But it's like if you want to be like sponsored by them, you have to be wearing like swimwear all the time and like kind of revealing things. Whereas Monster's more like, are you into something? Cool, fuck it, you're sponsored.
Yeah, most when people are sponsored, you just gotta wear the jersey when you play professionally. That's about it. Just to show people, hey, we sponsor your favorite person, so watch our stuff, watch our content, buy our whatever, you know, and it's all good to go. That and they pay for your travel. That's pretty pimp.
That's pretty good considering.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I will say, and you know, anybody in here that actually gives enough of a shit to call me a shill, that as far as I think everybody that appears on camera in Rooster Teeth is genuine, and that I'm sure they have to do things they don't want to do because they are owned by like Time Warner, so, or a Warner subsidiary. So I'm sure things they have to do all the time they don't want to do, but if they don't, then they get in trouble from other people, and you know, that's just, if you want your business to grow, that's just kind of what happens.
Well, I think the best thing you could possibly do is just not say anything about anything, just to be safe, right?
Well, that's the thing,
like,
they usually don't, but I know sometimes they do.
Like, yeah. Like when I was obviously in the military, I couldn't say all the things I wanted to say on the internet. I was legally obligated to not do such things, or I could have been in some serious trouble. Now that I'm out, I can say whatever the fuck I want. But if you're working for a company, you have the possibility of being fired.
Actually, we're still under USSJaguar.
It'd be a different story.
We're still under, yes sir.
Oh, you're talking about for the 3 years?
Yeah.
I don't. It'd be rare to be taken to court.
It's very rare that
it'd be rare.
Well, okay.
But they can still get you.
Exactly.
I've heard
So
it. Okay, guys, I heard it from a friend. Fuck the Navy. He will not be named.
Oh, that's what he said. Fuck the Navy.
Yeah, no, because you guys talk about like you can't say certain things. I was making the joke. Like,
Okay.
I've heard from a friend who shall not be named.
Yes, exactly.
But that's the thing.
I don't know.
And sometimes while they do say some things that I don't fully agree with, they usually wait till they're off like screen or they're off company time to do it, in which case I'm like, okay, I mean, we're not going to agree on, like, I don't agree with them on a lot of things, but that doesn't mean their content's any less for it, you know?
Yeah, that probably doesn't affect content. I just think there's kind of like this middle ground. You hear it all the time, separate like the art from the artist. There are just, at least with me, there are deal breakers. There are some deal breakers where, like, I can forgive a lot of things, we can disagree on a lot of things, but if you do X, and one of my deal breakers is X, then that's when you lose my support. That's about it. I move on. However, if someone else is like, well, that's not one of my deal breakers, and they still want to support, you know, a certain product, or the case may be, it's like, alright, I don't have a problem with it. And then we both just know where we stand. Don't talk about this specific company or whatever, because I just don't want to hear it. I know you like them, but you already know I'm gonna rant.
And that's why I said, it's like, you don't have to agree with me. It's just my personal, like, what I've seen is that generally they're pretty professional. I don't agree with a lot of things they say, but at the same time, as long as they don't say them on company time, I mean, I'm not going to argue with them. I'm not going to, you know, say the company's bad. It's like, well, they're doing it on their own personal Twitter account, you know? It's like, people are entitled to whatever the fuck they feel like.
For the most part.
But, okay, so whatever you think about them, right now we're just talking about, because they are no longer Screw Attack something different. Death Battle.
It's a bigger thing. I remember when they were a smaller company coming up, and they finally got their first website. I'm like, oh, I'm so proud of them. Had Brental Floss there. Good times.
But also what I was going to say is, like, full disclosure, I don't like a lot of their fights, but they do have some occasionally that are good, but also those are usually the ones I'm the most biased about, so though they might also have issues.
Yeah,
but
at the very least, it's a cool name because it reminds me of Metroid, and I'm a big fan of it. But their Death Battle series, yeah, that's just, that's gotta, you know, it's one of those things, like, I think it's a bad product, but plenty of people watch it. Who knows how many of them hate watch it, like kind of like we do, in a sense. I mean, I don't. I watch them very, very rarely, because I already know I don't like it. But, you know,
I watch everyone hoping that it's not that bad.
Yeah, he can stand it, but I can't do it. No.
Yeah.
I can be.
He only watched this one at my behest because of some commentary I made about it, and them just going, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, I've got at least a few things.
Okay, so
I have some grievances.
let's start from the beginning. first there was
Okay.
man. No.
All right, so here's the first thing, and this is kind of just a wider scope. When you're doing a versus battle, right? Right off the bat, it's always going to be subjective because there's just so many things to, so much source material. Video games, so you're working with like different physics. So say like in Monster Hunter, a hunter is fully capable of jumping out of a mountain that goes into the clouds, and then they just land on
And
their
they're
knees.
100%
It's like no big
okay.
deal.
I mean,
They're not regular people. These are basically superhuman. A regular human can't do that.
They can't even wield the weapons
Obviously.
normally that they might wield.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they also
no.
can't wield a lot of the weapons that they have. And so if you wanted to take a Monster Hunter and face him against like Batman, it's not really a very number one, I don't think it's just a very interesting matchup, and number two, it's not really a good one.
It's only gonna be like
I think they're too
eventually until,
different.
the
Yeah.
hunter
I
actually
mean, here's the
finally gets
other
that.
thing is like
Yeah, I
they
think
can
they're too
jump off
different.
of they can jump off of mountains and be fine. That means the monsters are stupid strong, right?
Unless, yeah, they'd have to be hitting whatever. Well, see, so typically a human can only fall at a certain amount of speed before they reach terminal velocity. I don't know what that speed is in the Monster Hunter universe. I don't know what the speed is in real life, but I know like
Either
once
physics
you hit
doesn't work
50
or
feet,
something.
Yeah, well, humans at 50 feet, they reach terminal velocity. So jumping from a height of 50 feet in 2000, virtually the same thing, although that extra 1,950 feet, your body are going through different motions. You probably pass out long before you hit the ground.
Hopefully.
Or go into shock. Probably have a heart attack, like, oh my god, I'm falling so far.
You would hope so.
Although, yeah, hopefully you're unconscious before you splatter.
I mean,
across
there's
the
people
stage.
that jump out of planes and then bounce off the ground and they're okay. But I mean, even then, it's like
That happens
I
too,
wouldn't
yeah.
want to be. I wouldn't want to be okay.
Exceptionally rare. Because again, it's no different from 50 feet, but exceptionally rare. And I don't know if they can just like bounce. I'm sure you could probably
There's
find
been-
like
there was a
something
war
like, oh,
story
I'm
about someone
100% fine. I've got no fractures. I've got no sprains. I am cool.
I have
That's
no
a
fractures or
freak
sprains.
miracle.
There
How?
was one dude in one of the wars, I forget, there was a story about it, my uncle told me.
Did he land in water or the?
No, it was like legit, like, landed like on the ground.
No.
Like his parachute didn't go off. I mean,
Yeah. So everywhere, the point I was getting at is that every world kind of has its own sense of physics. So right off the bat, that's already going to make things difficult. So one of the
Yeah.
hardest things you can do is like say speed. Speed is difficult because depending on the series, it would determine how fast they're going. So take Hajime no Ippo. It's a boxing anime, right? It's been around for far too long. But anyway, the boxers can be moving so fast, the other boxer, less experienced, can't see him. However, if I'm watching, let's say, Naruto or Bleach, there could be a villain or a hero who's moving so fast that no one can react to what he's doing. You see how weird the speed is?
like-
It's one of the hardest things to calculate. Because speed is just so relative. You know, how fast they're actually going. You can't really pinpoint, like, he's moving, I don't know, 200, miles per hour or something like that. Sometimes they do. Like I think the Flash average running speed is like 200 miles per hour, whatever. Him not trying, basically having a fun jog. It might be faster. I
I'm
can't
pretty
remember
sure
what it
it's
is.
faster.
I mean, 200
Well-
miles an hour, that's Speed Demon's top, which is hilarious.
Yeah, it's still super fast, but that's just him jogging. That's him like, I'm not in a rush to really get
That's probably
anywhere
a walk.
type of speed. Yeah, essentially. And obviously, that's so fast you could barely see him. But then, like, they did another death battle like between
You can
Hiei and
see
Sasuke. I didn't watch it, but
I didn't
again,
because
speed
I
is
feel
hard to
less
do.
involved with those characters.
Yeah,
was it?
personally, I love
What was
Hiei versus Sasuke. But yeah, speed is
I
also
mean,
one of those
yeah,
things
that's the thing with speed is just like, especially when you're trying to get like villains of a story down, like these villains are da-da-da, it's like, but in the game, the hero generally beats the villains, so it's just like, this speed is insane. It's like, yeah, but then that means that that the main character's speed is just as insane.
Yeah, or at least their reaction time, at the very least, and that has to do with a whole other list of words. But yeah, so that's one of the things. Two people fighting will always be subjective. I would say 99% of the time. You might have like some very 1% where if they say this character versus this character, it's like, come on, bro. Come on, you know, fucking
Starscream versus fucking My Little Pony. It's like
Starscream versus I don't know, cop number 2 who doesn't have a name, who gets killed by just getting shot in the head. That's not a good fight. If someone wants to argue, well, hold on, maybe the cop... No, shut up.
maybe the cop shoots him in the eyes enough to...
Exactly, that's not going to happen.
Characters out there versus A and DBZ characters.
Technically, like, you'd have to be at least DBZ-S levels.
Yeah, you'd have to be near the end of your series level.
An in-game Bleach character.
I'm not even sure if like the in-game Bleach people still can go against like Goku.
Or like Prime All Might, maybe.
Maybe it's hard to say.
So. Well, again, power-wise, no.
It's hard to say. The reason why I say it's hard to say, there's clearly a difference between getting hit with a ki blast and just getting punched.
Yeah.
And like, again,
getting punched in the face.
Sometimes power, sometimes even power can be kind of like hard to evaluate, because a character might not show all their feats, but we can kind of make some inferred knowledge.
But the biggest thing for me,
but it's inferred.
Yeah, but the biggest thing for me is that the Dragon Ball Z characters, the very beginning of the series and this Saiyan saga. When Vegeta and Nappa were on their way to Earth, they were literally blowing up planets and moons.
Yeah.
And even before that, Vegeta's dad was casually flicking planets away.
And we were like weak as shit.
Yeah, logically, they should be way stronger.
So that's what I'm saying, like, compared to, if you want to compare it to, like, the Boo saga,
yeah, but then,
how strong they are comparison.
Sure, but then, like, again, this is the reason why I hate the Boo saga. That's a rant for a different day.
Example, like, say Gohan at the end of the Cell saga. You know how much stronger Gohan is than, like, Nappa or Vegeta were back then?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he would make them look like chumps.
I mean,
yeah, most definitely. His
Which, by the way,
way stronger.
Since we're on this off topic, I'm gonna totally.
Kind of like my thing is, it's like there's not too many characters out there, any like, not
in almost any capacity
that actually can like compete with that.
I don't know how. I don't know.
I'm not saying there's none. I'm just saying there's not a lot. Now, Superman's various feats where he was able to freaking like drag over several planets.
I think there are other anime characters who can stand up to DBZ characters. If I sit here, I could probably name some, but
here's the other thing I want to
count like supers now. I mean, I know you hate supers, but like they're even stronger now.
Yeah, but supers is gay and no one wants to hear it. Nobody cares.
Actually, a lot of people do like supers.
Well, a lot of people like dumb stuff. So, supers is stupid. What were you saying, Austina? It sounded like you wanted to get a word in.
Well, I just want to say, because I actually am happy that we're off topic, because that just means more talking. I'm going to plug the Dragon Ball Multiverse comic here, because it's a really decent comic as far as I'm concerned. It's a fan comic.
Like they actually care.
It's a fan comic, and they do very well to both, like, I mean, they have some of the side chapters that are, like, their own style or more unique, but the main chapters are all pretty much in a very close approximation to Toriyama's own style. And they play with ideas of, like, the multiverse in a very better way, in my opinion. But also to add on to that other part of the conversation about, like, people versus whatever, it's like, I've seen a couple of videos about it, but one of the things that's funny is there's the Warhammer, like, 40k universe, and if you ever put them up against, like, anyone, that other universe is always, like, stomped by 40k because it's just ridiculous. And someone made the point of just, like Saiyans, like, not even, like, you know, main characters, just the like, if the planet of Vegeta was in the 40k universe, besides all the, you know, psychic shit that happens, that they'd be very powerful because they're all, like, individual planet busters.
One of those Saiyans?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I guess it depends on how you calculate. So Vegeta's power level, and power levels are stupid, but just going by his actual power level, when he first went to Earth, he was like, what, 18,000? 28,000. I think that's what he was.
It might have been him.
He was like 28,000. No? What was it?
He might have been 18. No, he might have been 28. He might have been 28 at his max.
I'll just Google it.
Because I remember
I
saying
think just
something
like
about
just
that.
standing, wasn't he like 28? Not even max, like just him just being there and I'm standing in rest position. Well, I'm just looking this up right now. Was he 28?
That would be good.
Or 28,000?
We need confirmation.
What was he?
Let's see, looking it up.
How strong was Vegeta on Earth?
Yeah. Hold on, let's just Let me try because I got a point I'd like to make, but I need to know what his power level is.
Yeah.
Just real quick.
But I mean, that's the thing. Think about okay, he was very strong and
elite.
he could destroy planets. But like, think of even like lesser ones. Is that
you're talking like Saiyan Saga Vegeta?
At the very least, lesser Saiyans can trash cities or destroy planets, and that's just by themselves. So it's just like
well, they were to be fair, they were normally in the Uzuru transformation where they get that time.
Yeah, but I mean, there's also it's a full planet full of them. If there was 7 billion Saiyans,
they can.
Like, if there's 7 billion Saiyans, you'd have to think that at least 5% of them wouldn't need Uzuru forms,
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely not the Saiyan elites. They don't need it.
Vegeta was at 18,000.
He was 18. Okay. It was either
18,000. Okay.
Yeah. 18,000 and 28. It was one of the two. Okay. So Vegeta could destroy planets at 18,000.
Yes.
But he's
but remember, Piccolo could destroy the moon at way under that.
It's just true.
Yeah, that's true. This was... hold on. When did he destroy the moon?
Well, Roshi also destroyed the moon in
that's
Dragon
true.
Ball.
Roshi must have had like
Piccolo,
power level 100.
during the Cell Saga was at 3,500.
That is
Piccolo
not
doing the what?
Piccolo during the Saiyan Saga was 3,500.
Okay,
you said Cell Saga, and I was like, no fucking way.
Saiyan, Cell, they both are...
Yeah, but hold on. Now that I think about it now, yeah, Roshi destroyed the moon. I don't know what his power level was at the time. He had just finished powering up.
Let's see, I can go back. Which saga was that?
But it wasn't even...
That was Dragon Ball.
Yeah, that was way back in Dragon Ball.
Well,
so power levels didn't really exist then.
Saiyan Saga, when they were training, Roshi was at 139.
139, okay.
But
so
remember, even
like
before that, he was able to put out the fire of the mountain, I guess. But
let's see if they got that included.
Okay, okay, no, hold on. I think you're right. So if you... Alright, so the Earth is how many times bigger than...
So think about that. There's got to be so many more Saiyans that at one point were more powerful than Piccolo, and they were able to...
So another one, they put him at 180. They put Master Roshi at 180.
So realistically, if you got a power level at least, like I say, 1,000, you could probably destroy an Earth-sized planet. So
I mean, even if you could only destroy like something like the moon, if you shot that at the Earth, it would kill everybody.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, most low-class Saiyan warriors, Raditz was low, and he was 1,200.
So Raditz could probably destroy the Earth if he fucking felt like it. He could, at the very least, destroy all life on Earth.
A chunk of the Earth
easily.
Yeah.
You don't even have to, he could probably blow it up. Yeah.
Let's see, what was Raditz's power level?
Like 1,200?
1,500?
16
if you want to go to the movie information time.
Okay.
Well, there, whatever that is, I can't pronounce it. It was 1,500, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I hate power levels, but once again, the only reason
they're
why
a decent enough modifier. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Low-class Saiyans could probably destroy most planets, especially since you don't even know what hit you. They just start.
But remember, they didn't because they was in the real estate business.
Yeah, that's true.
They could destroy the planets, but they couldn't destroy like the ecosphere or anything.
They would have been more than happy to just fight each other all freaking day. Okay.
If you destroy the ecosphere, a planet's pretty much useless unless it has a bunch of raw like materials, I guess.
Yeah, but power levels are dumb, but again, it's just one of those things where it's like, alright, to add to the subjectivity of even power, it's not black and white, right? So, one of the problems I have with Screw Attack as a whole, although I will be talking mostly about Ganon versus Dracula, the one that just came out.
Whenever we find the subject again, everybody that's listening.
Exactly, whenever we can. You can't use different incarnations of a character, right?
Yeah, it gets kind of hard.
A very specific version, but yeah, sometimes it does get a little hard.
Oh, hello, one person that joined. Nice to see you. Hope you stay for a while. Hope you don't hate us.
Have a good time.
Have a good time.
So with this fight in particular, and I see that they do this a lot, where they try to. Sometimes they mix all the different incarnations of a character, and then sometimes they don't. I don't know why. I feel like you'd have to be consistent, but at that point, it's better to just choose one. Choose one incarnation of a character versus another. I think that'd make things a little easier. So with Ganon, they took incarnations from Ganon that aren't the same one. Not all of those games are really connected. Some are connected, some aren't. And so if you're gonna do Ganondorf, I guess to be fair to them, it looked like they used just every incarnation of Ganondorf even Calamity Ganon, which is a different person, but they also did the same for Dracula. They mix all the incarnations, but I think there's too much can of worms. I think it would have been better to use, like, for the sake of easy reference, use Ocarina of Time Ganondorf versus, like, maybe like Rondo of Blood Dracula. I think that would make things much easier to do, because then you're not going to people who are just separate characters. Like the Dracula that appears in the anime, he's a different Dracula than the dude in the games. He's very similar. I think he's cool.
Full disclosure. No, I'm just saying, full disclosure, if you're saying anything in the chat, thanks, I can't see it. But, so, sorry.
Just sit back and enjoy while you do other things.
Sit back, enjoy, or don't, whatever you feel like.
Yeah, but hopefully you do.
Yeah,
but
I would like to enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like Dracula in the anime is a different person than the Dracula from the game. Similar, but different in ways. So if you try to also use him as like a sense of power source, I just think it's a little inconsistent. Calamity Ganon is obviously it's different from the Ganon from Ocarina of Time. It's a straight up different person, and so again they've got like different power. It's just weird. I think it's better to stick with this version, a very popular version of this character, and a very popular version of the character. But to be fair, at least to Screw Attack, I do think that would be a good fight. Just hearing Ganon versus Dragon, I'm like, okay, yeah, I think they would be similar in power scale. Yeah, like they're not super insane, you know what I mean? I feel like that's alright. That's a pretty good. Okay, they have done that before, but again, yeah, go ahead.
To add to that, if you can only use one version of a character, and then they don't match up to another character, then you just can't have the fight.
Yeah, I think it's just better to scrap it. You know, I don't want to see Barney versus Teletubbies. Number one, that's lame.
Well, the thing about it, it's like you can have
non-compacted
Dracula, who is technically the same Dracula and just getting stronger and stronger, or you can have the very first Ganon on that, you know, the very first Ganon ever, and then you look at that, it's like, well, that wouldn't be a good fight anyways. There's a clear winner. It's like, well, then it's not great. Don't use it.
Yeah, as the characters got a bit more fleshed out, so that their powers, and now I'm given a little something to work with. But video game characters, I think, are always very difficult to do versus battles, unless you're taking two characters from the same series in the same world but never fought each other, I guess. Now that's when it's like, okay, you might be able to do something, right? So a lot of people, you know, just throwing an example, it might go a little over your head, but you know, at the very least you know T from Final Fantasy VII, right? You know of it. You know of her. You've maybe seen her.
I am aware of her tank top.
You're at least aware. Okay, so she's basically the monk character, the martial artist chick.
Right.
And
red gloves, white top. Got it.
Yeah, a good fight if you were gonna do it from also the same series, albeit a different Final Fantasy, would be 7 from Final Fantasy VI. Just one game over. They're both the monk characters, and if you just stick with the games they're from, I don't know, you might be able to make something happen. Insert character from this series and insert this other character from another series, because now again you're dealing with totally different physics. It's gonna be a little weird, but again you want them to be the same in power structure. You know, don't have one character who's just clearly showing feats that are just beyond the other. Like, don't do a Heracles versus Moana, or not Moana herself, but I think we talked those before.
Hercules versus Maui,
right? Yeah, it doesn't work. Yeah. Now Maui talks a big game, and I like his song. I was singing it for weeks when I first heard it. It's the only thing I really like about the movie. I still remember the lyrics. But when you compare it to the feats that are actually in Heracles, it's like, it's not even close. Maui can transform.
A better thing, in my opinion, would probably be like something like Hercules versus like Samson, maybe. But even then, you know, there's still arguments. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I would say
at least Samson has, you know, feats that are like.
Yeah, that's true. He also does have some feats. I think Heracles' feats are stronger, but I think that would be interesting. To be fair, you never really see the full. I'm not 100% sure if it'd be a good suit, because you don't really see the full scale of Samson's abilities. he only really fought against other humans, and obviously
Yeah.
they couldn't touch him. Heracles had to fight against monsters.
This is
Monsters
also
who
fair.
are well known for killing heroes.
And being almost more.
So then, would a
Yeah.
good fight between like mythological, and I don't mean this as an insult to like any religion or any but like what about like Samson versus like Achilles then?
I think that would be better. That would be better.
Yeah, that would.
Achilles thing, as far as I know, he didn't really have any special abilities. He was just really
damn good.
really
Well, he was also
damn
invulnerable.
fucking strong soldier. Yeah, that was that too. But he never really got touched anyway, unless you hit him on the heel, and that's the end of that. But that is a better fight. That is colossally a better fight. I just don't know if it really go anywhere, because unless Samson knows his weakness, they could just be fighting forever. Samson doesn't have the prowess and the skill to really take on Achilles, but Achilles can't really harm Samson. I think his weapons would just probably break on him. But again, Achilles
Samson
knew
didn't
that
ever really use
Samson
weapons.
cut
He
off
just
his
kind of, I
hair.
mean, he used his he did use a jawbone of like a donkey, which by the way, power move if you're ever going to use a weapon.
He just picked it up and started hitting people with it. He's got super strength.
Yeah, he
What were the other people gonna
literally
do?
beat people with a donkey's fucking jawbone, and that's like Arnold Schwarzenegger levels of badass in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess if they both knew each other's weakness, that'd be...
Well, he
that'd be
did
really
because
cool.
he was weak, and he pretty much used all of his strength to collapse the building. So.
Oh, are we talking about Samson? Okay, so
Yeah.
Samson's source of strength came from his hair. Yeah. I
Because
think God himself
his
told him,
power
hey,
came
don't
from
tell-
tradition.
Yeah, don't tell anyone about your hair, because it'll be bad for you. And he told someone about his hair, and it didn't work out too well. Yeah, you're right, it was a female, and it didn't work out too much for him.
Yeah, but then
But yeah,
right
he was
there,
able
he's
to
like,
kill
you
the
know what?
Philistines.
I'll let you get revenge. Here's your strength back for just a little bit.
It's like, you know what? You want to use your strength to kill all these people that wronged you and make fun of me? Okay, yeah, I'll give it.
Yeah, okay. You can do it. You're gonna have to.
As super petty as that sounds,
it's
it's not that much worse than things that happen in like Greek mythology. So.
Oh, there's a lot of Greek, Roman, Christian. There's a lot of atrocities we can go over. That'd be pretty fun.
That's why I'm saying
But,
it's like, I'm not making fun of anybody's particular religion or beliefs.
No,
it's
just talking about the just the mythology. It doesn't reflect back on whatever you believe. We're just having fun with it.
that, and plus
But yeah, if
Samson's
you're
like my
gonna
favorite part of the Bible because he's literally the Bible's like superhero.
There are a few stories in the Bible that I actually really enjoy. But yeah, so if you're gonna do
Back
two
on track.
characters, yeah, they have to be at least similar in feats. They have to seem like, again, I like to use logic when it comes to if I'm going to pair one character to another. Does it actually make sense for them to be fighting? If it doesn't, scrap the fight. At least make it seem like they could probably duke it out. But yeah, when it comes to incarnations, I think it's better to just stick to one incarnation of a character rather than all of them, because sometimes they're not all the same person. But this is what they did in the fight. I don't think it was the right way to go. But I guess, to be fair, they did use all incarnations of Dracula and all incarnations.
It's all
of
incarnations, but it's the same
something.
guy. If what you've told me.
Kind of. I think with Dracula, because at least they didn't use the Lord of Shadow Dracula, which is a totally different dude. And that is all the same person. Most of the Ganons you fight in The Legend of Zelda is the same dude. But not all of them. But they included the ones even when it's not the same guy, who would have different feats of strength and everything like that.
Is Wind Waker Ganon like the weakest Ganon?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think the weakest Ganon, honestly, would probably be like, probably Ocarina of Time Ganon. Even he's pretty strong, but like he, through all the times he's been reincarnated to fight. Well, I don't know if he never really got reincarnated. He usually just gets sealed away. He would remember his older abilities. You know what I mean? Wind Waker Ganon takes place after Ocarina of Time Ganon, when he finally gets like, unsealed and he wants to take his revenge and blah blah blah. And he decided, okay, now I'm rolling more physical attacks. I'm rolling 2 swords. Well, in Ocarina of Time, he used a lot of magic for the most part. He didn't really use any martial skills, although he would have it because the Gerudo in the desert, they're all about martial arts and fighting with 2 swords. And they're all about agility and fun stuff like that. But yeah, stick to one incarnation for the most part.
And, you know, please put my head between your thighs. No.
Yeah, exactly. And just squeeze as hard as you can until I fucking die. Alright, so using non-canon anime...
It would be a happy
sources
death.
yeah, yes it would. Canon's a little weird, but I think that really does go over different incarnations. For Dracula, they included like a Dracula from 10,000 years in the future, but Dracula gets beat in the year 2000. They actually do have actual time in the Castlevania series. I think like 2017 or 2010. He gets sealed in the eclipse, and now he's legit gone forever.
Oh, okay.
So he's
well,
not
that's the thing.
around.
They used that
So
one from the future. That was like
thing.
Dracula's son or something? I don't know.
No. So Dracula never had any of kids. This was a game that never came into the U.S. until there was like this collection of Castlevanias. Yeah, it was just like this fun little chibi thing that they made. I think for like the Game Boy Pocket or something like that. It never came to the States until very recently when they released like this collection of Castlevania games. So it's non-canon, it's just a little fun, and a lot of games actually in the Castlevania series are non-canon to the story. A lot of the games that came out for the GBA aren't canon. They follow like a completely different story. I think in one of them he ends up with a Belmont, which is something that would never happen in a billion years. They're like his mortal enemy. But yeah, in the GBA games he shags it up with a Belmont. Yeah, that makes fucking sense. But again,
listen, you can't resist the booty forever.
I guess so. I don't know. Even though the whole reason why he did all of this, because one person in his life died, and now he wants to take it on the world. I don't know. He's a big baby.
Is it?
I think Link versus a Belmont would be really
hot
cool.
take. Dracula's just a little bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as I was watching this, I think a Link versus a Belmont would be really cool. I think that'd be a good fight. I think that'd be a really interesting fight. Yeah, Link versus a Belmont, I thought would be really cool.
What about Link versus, like, Dracula? Before we continue on with this, now I have a question.
I think that'd be pretty sweet, too. Oh, go ahead. Before we continue on with...
No, that's what I was saying. Before we continue on with, you know, what we hate.
Oh, yeah.
Or, like, Ganon versus a Belmont or something. Because they're both... If you break them down to their core elements, they're all very similar.
They are. That's why I think, like, in terms of, like, their feats and, like, kind of the power scaling, that'd be a really good fight. I think that a Belmont is definitely capable of beating down Ganondorf. I think Link is definitely capable of beating Dracula. You know what I mean? But since they're from different series, I guess it'd be a little tougher. Could the Master Sword actually affect? Could the Master Sword actually affect Dracula? I don't know.
I mean, is it considered a holy weapon, I guess?
Technically, yes. In its own world, it was a weapon created like by the goddess for the sole purpose of fighting back evil. Specifically, another holder of the Triforce, like Ganondorf. So this is one of those things where logically, I feel like the Master Sword would definitely be capable of hurting and driving back Dracula. At least it should. But actually, in its own canon, well, the thing is, like, Dracula's been beaten with other weapons before that have been like wholly enchanted, so it would stand to reason that, you know, the Master Sword would also work against Dracula. I feel like that,
it at least meets the bare minimum criteria for hurting Dracula.
Yeah, I would think so. I think he definitely has the skills actually, because Belmont's much with Link. Obviously, they're good fighters. Some Links are better than others. But it's their resourcefulness, you know, in battle that really, like, sets them apart. Like, that's the thing. A Belmont isn't the biggest, baddest, and strongest. He is of the humans, typically, and even monsters fear him. That's because, like, he's got some serious... A lot of them have serious magic abilities. They've been trained from birth for the sole purpose of fighting back evil. They're very good at it. They're very knowledgeable about the monsters that they fight. They don't really have to overpower them. They know how to deal with them. I can compare them honestly to Geralt of Rivia, to get back on The Witcher for a second here. Geralt of Rivia doesn't overpower his monster enemies. He's super smart. He knows what he's dealing with. He's studied. He I think since he was, I can't remember his age, but he was like 7 or 8. He's been training for the sole purpose of fighting monsters.
And he's almost
so once
300.
he went through the various mutations, all right, now time to do it. But not every Witcher is like Geralt. Even with their sort, like their monsters, you know.
I mean, when you live forever, you might as well study, right?
You live quite a bit. Yeah. They go through like 15, 16 years of study before they go out and kill monsters, and a lot of them actually die their first hunt because they're just inexperienced.
Wait, let me just so I'm not like talking out of my ass. Witchers are essentially like immortal, right?
No.
They live a
They
really
can
long
definitely
time
die,
naturally, but they're
live.
not immortal.
Okay.
Think of them like
Elves, almost.
Elves. I mean,
Think
even
of 'em
still,
like,
if they have elf timelines, like only studying for
They're pretty
16
close
years
to,
sounds
like-
really low.
Like hard, like the normal.
like Steve Rogers Super Soldier Serum, but they live longer. Because to my knowledge, I think Steve Rogers
I
is like a
almost just
regular
killed
Asian
myself there.
fan.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But the witches live a really long time.
I mean-
they're gonna die of natural causes anytime soon. Also, they're unaffected by poison. They're immune to damn near all forms of diseases.
That's pretty useful.
They have enhanced strength, enhanced speed, enhanced sight, enhanced hearing. Yeah. So like Serum Super Soldier, but 1,000 times more painful. You most likely aren't gonna survive the transformation. But yeah, Link, Geralt, and Belmont all win typically because they're just super resourceful. You know what I mean? And that's how they bring home the day. You don't have to always overpower an enemy. So this is something that Spirit Attack always. They tend to bring up a lot and say, "Oh, this character wins because they're just stronger. They
Their
have more
feats are higher,
experience." And it's like, that's just not always the case. And I can give you one good one. See, the discussion about Screw Attack being bad at death battles, I think, really started in Goku versus Superman.
Yeah.
But I was noticing them like being stupid long before that fight. I basically stopped watching them. At least I took a break, and then I came back for the Goku versus Superman, and I was like, well, I don't know too much about Superman, so I can't hound you too much. But when I started reading comics and came back, I'm like, okay, I could see how Superman could beat Goku, but I can also see how Goku could beat Superman. And I watch a lot of videos where like, here's why Goku would win. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. Other videos defend a Screw Attack. Here's why Superman would win. I'm like, again, that makes a lot of sense. It can go either or. It depends on the circumstances. These characters never actually fight, but sure, I guess if they just really want each other dead.
I mean,
both
that's
of
like
them
the
are fully
baseline for
capable
like
of beating
two
the other.
heroes fighting. Is that
Yeah, typically.
even if they started fighting, generally it doesn't end in a bloodbath.
No, not at all. But yeah, one of my biggest concerns, even if I agree in a fight with Screw Attack, their reasonings are just terrible. So they did I think it was a Shao Kahn. Was it Shao Kahn versus Bison? Was that one of them?
I think so.
Or was it Shao Kahn versus like Akuma? I can't remember. Akuma was one of them.
It better not have been Akuma, because
I think it was Shao Kahn versus Bison. I'm fairly positive. I think it'd be a good fight. I can't sit here and name all their different feats because it's very difficult to do. They're both video game characters. But even if I agree, I believe Shao Kahn won. But even if I agree with Shao Kahn winning, and in a way I kind of do, but it can go both ways. Their biggest reasoning was because, well, Shao Kahn, he just has all the experience. He's been alive for thousands of years. He's such a smart and capable combatant. That is true. So thus, Bison would win simply because, he just doesn't have the spirit to match. Do you know who stopped Shao Kahn from taking over Earth? He won like
some dude.
Yeah, he won like he'd been conquering realms for thousands of years. You know who beat him? A fucking 23-year-old greenhorn monk named Liu Kang. Liu Kang's first Mortal Kombat tournament, straight out of the monastery.
Straight out the monastery.
Straight out of Shaolin, son. He beat Shao Kahn every time they fought. Motherfucker didn't even get killed himself until like these two pussies double teamed him, but that's a separate story.
Also, let's also based on this same route as like the later MK games, who kills this super strong like god sorcerer? Some fucking jackass movie guy.
Yeah, an actor.
With
No, Dick Van Fanted, he wasn't only an actor. He'd been training forever.
I know, but I mean, like, still.
He pulled this fucking power up out of his ass like a fairy tale character.
He literally has
took
like
down-
anti-god murdering powers. It's like, why does he have
took down
this?
someone who's stronger than Shao Kahn. I think Shinnok was stronger than Shao Kahn.
And with
he was
way
an
more
elder
experience.
God. He was a former elder god. Exactly, and way more experience. But again, this 32-year-old actor / martial artist, nope, he pulled the power up out of his butt, went green Super Saiyan and took him down, sealed him back up. So I'm sorry, like, experience just isn't everything. You know what I mean? I guess logically or rationally, I can understand what they're saying, but even in their own series, they lose to characters you probably shouldn't lose to, but they do. They do.
Because those are the
Liu
main
Kang won
characters,
because
and
he
they're
was just
infinitely
better.
stronger.
Yeah, Liu Kang won because he was just better. As strong as Shao Kahn was, Liu Kang was better, and he was unafraid. To be fair, I think other characters, even in Outworld, could beat Shao Kahn, but do they really want to push their luck? Think about it. If you're an Outworld and you're a necromancer, you can take dead bodies, summon that shit right up, or you know, people in the Outworld got all sorts of crazy powers. Okay, Shao Kahn is ruling over you. Alright, I really don't want to fight this guy. I know he's kind of strong. I'm not even going to try. And thus, no one really does too much. He squashes any rebellions because he has the numbers. He's not out here fighting himself.
He has the political polls.
He's got henchmen. Yeah, he's got henchmen to do his stuff for him. He's not going to sit out here and fight anyone else. But if you're part of Earthrealm, like, oh snap, if Shao Kahn wins one more tournament, he's going to take over Earth.
We're dead.
So we have no choice but to fight. Round up the strongest people of Earth we can, and we're going to throw shit at the walls with fucking sticks. And luckily, they have
and that movie actor guy.
Yeah, he was unafraid. He was disciplined. He trained his whole life to star in Mortal Kombat. He did his thing. He pulled it off. He beat Shao Kahn 3 times, and it was damn good matches. And each tournament, he only got stronger. But you can't sit me here and
until
tell me
he
that
became the king of the Netherrealm.
A 23-year-old monk could beat him. Would it stand to reason that other characters who haven't been around as long could do it? I think so. I think M. Bison is capable of beating Shao Kahn. I personally think Shao Kahn is stronger than M. Bison. I guess it's hard to say.
But that's the other thing you think about in the rules of Mortal Kombat. Even if you're an Elder God, you have to be, you have to play by mortal rules.
Yeah.
So you can still have all your power, but you're nowhere near as durable.
Yeah, sure. Like Raiden can fight for Earthrealm because he renounced his Elder God status and he took a mortal form.
But he still has all of his power. He's just more stabbable.
He's very, very mortal. You can just stab him. When he was just pure lightning, not so much. But then, for whatever reason, he just decides, I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna play by the rules because he's a good guy. Play by the Elder God's rules and take a mortal.
Well, because before Liu Kang happened, Earthrealm didn't really have a chance.
They had the Great Kung Lao. He was able to beat Goro and stop.
he was great, huh? No kidding. No.
Yeah, that's what he's known. The great because he was the first Earthrealm to win in Mortal Kombat in hundreds of years. Earthrealm normally loses every fight. But Great Kung Lao came in, did his thing, beat Goro.
That's why no one knows about it. He got killed
by Goro the next battle. The thing about Great Kung Lao, he's a super honorable dude, and so he let Goro live. And then Goro came back and killed him the next tournament. That's why you can't let people live. But it is what it is. He at least at one point beat him in straight combat. Had he had killed Goro, he probably would have been Earthrealm's defender for a very long time until... I don't know who they had that was really stronger than Goro, really. Until Shao Kahn, I guess, started to really get involved.
Yeah, I forgot Goro was, the big dude for a while.
Yeah, 4 arms, Dragon Man... doing his thing.
Was he a dragon?
Yeah.
I thought he was weirdo.
They come from a race of dragon people. Yeah.
4-armed, really tall dragon people.
Pretty much. Same with Shao Kahn. He actually comes from a race of dragon people too. A lot of dragons. But
he does look very demonic in the newest game.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the fun fact, the person who ruled over all realms, because all realms were united under one realm at one point, was Unaga, an actual dragon.
Well, then also there was
Stay away from dragons.
What is his name?
The symbol of Mortal Kombat is a fucking dragon. Liu Kang's dragon transformation.
There was Kotal, who the newest Khan was Kotal Khan, who he was just a general. He does, but at least his heart's in the right place.
It was.
For what it's worth, he's probably the best the Outrealm could do. Or Outworld.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You saw the story in the last Mortal Kombat?
Fair enough.
You saw a walkthrough? Okay. Watch the story. It's pretty good, but if you like Kotal before, this game, come on. Okay, so...
I know, I was just,
Yeah, Screw Attack is littered with bad reasonings. Alright, next up we have... I don't know if I'm going to go over that one just yet. Talk about that.
He's looking at his list and checking it twice.
This run the data bullshit. What did they what are they doing? What
Yeah,
does that
they say
mean?
they run the
To
fight
this
like
day, I don't know
100
what the
times.
fuck
Like,
they're talking about.
Crunch the
Is that a
numbers.
joke? Is
do
that
they talk to
satire? Are they being
someone, or how
serious?
do they run the numbers?
What computer? I don't know of this hardware or software that exists.
Because wasn't that also
run
debunked on like
schematics
those
of battle.
that like old versus like actual TV show? There, it's like the Mayans versus the such and such, or like the Greeks versus these. You know?
Yeah. Damn. I know what series you're talking
Deadliest
about. Like
Warrior?
Ninja versus Spartan. Yeah, Deadliest Warrior. I liked it at first, but then they started to fall into screw attack isms, and I stopped liking them.
Screwisms,
And
as
then
we
they
call
got,
them.
and then they got canceled not too long after that. They made a shitty game though. So
They did, and I remembered like, oh, that looks neat, and then seeing it, and I was like, this
Yeah.
sucks.
yeah, another problem I have with Screw Attack is if they just said, okay, when they do their Death Battle series, because this is what it really is. When they do the Death Battle series, a lot of them do have biases. Maybe they can put it to the side as much as possible, but I think they still very much come out, and that's fine. Just say like, this is who we think would win. But the way that they do things makes them just seem too fucking snooty.
It feels like favoritism.
Like we are the definitive burst battlers. What we say goes. Look how much data we do. A lot of your data is fucking inaccurate, but whatever. Look how much data we do. You know, we put so much time into it. How can you guys be mad at us? This is what the data says. Look, all this is subjective, at least most of it. You can get as objective as possible, but there's just so much in between that's very hard. And in that in between could determine a life and death battle between these two characters that I wouldn't honestly be as mad about Screw Attack. They just came out and said, instead of trying to be like the definitive answer that spoils into real fucking life, they said, look, this is who we think would win, and then that's it. Hey, between these two characters, don't be mad. We looked at their abilities and everything. Personally, we feel like this character would win. You know what? That's fair to say.
I also don't like that sometimes they choose environments that are specifically detrimental to one side of the fight.
Yeah, that's another thing that makes no sense. Okay, so you're making...
The character gets like thrown into lava and you're just like...
Or it's like, I know you guys hate me talking about, but the Jotaro Kenshiro fight, whatever you think should happen, they had the fight in the middle of like open desert, and I can count maybe 2 fights in all of Stardust Crusaders that happened in the wide open.
Yeah, it's just very weird. I don't get it. Again, I wish they just said, we're fans of this stuff. This is who we think would win, rather than we are the definitive answer, we ran the data. It's like, fuck off. I watched plenty of other videos, and yeah, they don't have a huge crew.
Get out of
They
here
can't
with this
do like
data bullshit.
A 3-4 minute. They can't do like a relatively good, sometimes the budget is better than other episodes, but they don't have a team. They can't show you this battle. I'm sure more YouTubers could. They'd have just as big as following as you do. 'Cause honestly, I think at this point, people just want to watch the fight.
Yeah.
You know, they don't even care who wins or loses. They just want to watch the fight. Whatever.
But even then, through the fight, you can see things where it's like, again, with this fight, which we'll get into it, the whole Triforce debacle, like they show something like that, and it's like, but why did that happen?
Yeah,
Or
it just seems like they mix
cutting off
stuff up.
someone's arm, it doesn't protect against that because it's not deadly. It's like, I don't know a lot of people that live very often after they get their arm ripped off.
Yeah, typically, unless they're like some sort of half demon. But yeah, they should choose, are you guys a satire? Are you being serious when you do these things? I think you guys take yourself seriously. But then you guys make like funny voices, so are you, do you stand behind these battles? Again, I think they do. They say it. We feel, yeah, they do say, yeah, the fact that they call themselves a definitive answer, at least they have multiple times, makes you think like, okay, so you guys are being serious. Then why don't you stop the funny voices and just, I guess this is in a sense a bit more subjective. Like, yeah, this one's a bit more personal, but I'd rather two dudes just,
I mean, we all have our own personal ones. Like, I have a lot of, I have a lot of like, this is super fucking personal, but you guys don't have too many, which is why I thought this would intrigue you, because I know you both like both games and you both have opinions on it. So.
Yeah, but again, I think they should really just, hey, this is who we think will win. If you disagree, we totally get it. Better than, we've ran the data, we've ran the schematics through our fucking data. It's like, no, come on now. That's just retarded. Okay, already been through the different continuities of the Ganon and Dracula. Okay, so yeah, the one you just mentioned.
So let's go back to let's actually go to the fight itself. Yeah, like
the fight itself. There's not too much content in the fights themselves. It's really the reasonings you have to pay attention. If you watch the fight, you watch it because like you just want to see it, and the anime. Okay, okay. We're talking about the fight itself. The animation was fine. I thought it looked good for the most part. I think the voice acting is pretty good too. They both you know, yeah, okay, yeah, that's how the character would sound like. And overall, as a fight, with the exception of the last bits, I thought it was pretty good. I think Screw Attack, whoever the animators who are in charge, whoever the animators are in charge of making these fights happen, they are kind of hit and miss, but I think they hit more than they miss. I think they really are enjoyable to watch. I can't watch them because I don't like them, but just, you know, just personal choice. Let's just assume I've never, I don't know who Screw Attack is. Like, what's Screw Attack? Hey, watch this death battle. Okay, blah, 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 reasoning. Oh, the fight is really cool. Man, that was a good fight. I don't agree with who actually won, but alright, cool. They're just fans like us, right? Oh, no. They basically call themselves the definitive answer. Oh, fuck them. But yeah, if I'm just talking about the fight itself, yeah.
DC beats Marvel like 90% of the time.
Yeah, essentially their formula is they do a fight, they show off some of the abilities, not even all, some of the abilities that they actually have, and then whoever wins depends on what their reasoning is going to be.
Holy crap, I have a bunch of blood echoes.
You see a character win, and then they'll go to the reasonings why. So my problem with the Ganon versus Dracula fight, for the most part, is really just tied to like what made Ganon lose, and it's not even the fact that Ganon lost to Dracula that I'm upset about, because I think they're capable of beating each other. He hit him with one of his moves. Dracula hit Ganon with one of his little spells, and then he broke the Triforce. He broke the Triforce of power from Ganon, and I'm like, where did that come from? And that wasn't even covered in their reasoning. It was them just...
They just said, their explanation was it just overpowered the Triforce of power.
Yeah, what does it mean to overpower the Triforce? Ganon's been stabbed multiple times. One of them in the fucking face. You don't get much more old than that.
By weapons specifically designed to kill him.
Exactly. By weapons specifically designed to take him down, and he didn't die. He did not die. The Triforce of power literally makes you immortal. You can just seal him away. You can beat him. Link does it all the fucking time. But you can't break the Triforce of power. What makes you think that's a thing you can actually do? It's literally never even been done in its own series before. So forget like how physics are different, they work differently, and how powers and magic work differently throughout series. If it wasn't even broken even once in its own series, you can't make that a reasoning if you're gonna have those two fight against each other. That's not how it works. What, like, if the only way, fucking Dracula's spell broke the Triforce. Yeah, the only way that it works is if the actual Zelda series, they've shown in one of the games that Link attacks Ganon and it breaks his Triforce of power. But the thing is, if that happened, that would end the series. No more Ganon. You just have to choose another villain. All right, that's it. Triforce of power is back with Link, I guess.
All right, everybody, have a good day.
Yeah, they
no
put
more
it together.
Games.
Yeah, they put the Triforce back together, and then they put it wherever it goes, and that's it. There's no more need for reincarnations of Link, no more reincarnations of Zelda, and Ganon's gone until the day someone else steals the power again. Exactly, but what makes you think Dracula's spell would break the Triforce of power if it's literally never been done before? Even though Ganon has been beaten in combat plenty of times. I just don't understand where that came from. I paid pretty good attention. Again, that's my big, and if that's the sole determinant of why you won, I'm like, well, you think you pulled it out of your ass. That makes no sense. So that was stupid. It ruined the whole battle for me. I mean, I knew this episode was gonna suck anyway because I don't like the Death Battle series, and the reasons are always bad. But it's like I get what I expect. I'm like, something's gonna be wrong with this fight. Even if I agree with the outcome, they're gonna think of bad reasonings, and then I'm gonna roll my eyes and like, yeah, okay, here we go. So that was just stupid, and it's not the first time they've done it. You know, someone breaking a Triforce of Power, something that's never been done before. Like, these type of, like, reasons that they give are in most of their death battles. Most of the death battles it is. And then once again, they talk about, well, you know, Dracula just had a bigger arsenal and everything like that. I'm like, okay, see, that actually could be a factor, but it's not definitive. It's not like you can use them all at once. If I have a machine gun and a shotgun and a bazooka and multiple handguns, I can't use them all at once. Maybe 2 at a time
also,
at the most.
Where are you keeping
those?
those?
Just because I'm a walking arsenal doesn't mean I just have them strapped somewhere. Just have an arsenal of guns doesn't mean I can use them all at once. If I'm killing you, I'm going to use whatever's the best gun for the specific situation. That other guy who just has a handgun, he's fully capable of fucking killing me. 1 bullet is all it takes and I'm down for the count. That's it. Despite me being a walking arsenal, hit 1 well-placed bullet through my body could definitely kill me. So, just because someone has a larger arsenal, again, it's not definitive. It just means they have more situations that they can use their abilities. But if they never put in those situations, then what's the point? If Aquaman, like the original Aquaman, could only do his shit in the water. You know what I mean? He didn't have, but later they gave him the abilities to, like, okay, outside of water, he's still super strong and his skin deflects bullets, but OG Aquaman, if you never got in the water to fight the motherfucker, you're good.
That was always
You
kind
know,
of the joke.
OG
Yeah,
Aquaman, OG Aquaman sucked.
Yeah, OG Aquaman was pretty terrible. Unless you were in water with him. But if I'm out of water, I have to deal with the other here. I gotta deal with Batman and Superman all
It's like, well, I'll just get out of the water, and then Batman breaks your arm.
Exactly. If anything, I take my chances with the first Aquaman. But you get the idea. Yeah, Aquaman is so versatile, blah, blah, blah. Like, I guess, but only in the water. Mm-hmm. That's where he reigns supreme.
Out of the water, he's like
Superman
highballed Luke Cage, I would say.
Yeah, that's just not much. That's just not much he can really do. We've been over experience. I think experience is dumb, and again, it's not definitive to who would win, since there are plenty of people who haven't been nearly around as long, but they've beaten these people who've been around far longer than them. Experience can only take you so far, but again, I think it can be one of many reasonings for why characters...
This guy's a kung fu master, but I just started learning how to shoot last week.
Yeah, pretty much.
Unless this guy knows some, like, pseudo made-up martial art, I honestly value my chances at about 50 feet.
So when they talked about... They started to run some... So, yeah, like one of the moves in the game they took this from was Portrait of Ruin, and you can summon a meteor. I think it's a magic meteor, I don't think it's a real meteor, but they ended up, like... They did some measurements on like how big it is and blah blah
and
blah.
what it's made out of, which that
Dracula
confused me.
Yeah, which could be made of something totally different. And it's like based on Dracula taking his meteor to the face, it's possible he can withstand this certain amount of force. I'm like, I guess, but I don't think it was a real meteor though.
I'm pretty sure
it didn't burst in through the ceiling. I think it was a magic meteor. I think it was just something they made.
It's a meteor made out of magic that 2 people had to make, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then also, like, again, like, why this doesn't quite work. Number one, yeah, it's made out of magic. And then number 2, like, depending on the series, magic works differently, right? So, like, natural lighting a match fire is probably different than a fire thrown via, like, some sort of wizard. One is made, like, through natural means. One is made of through mana. Which one burns hotter? I don't know. For the most part, they look like fire, it behaves like fire, but sometimes the fire is different. I've seen, like, certain series where, like, someone throws a fireball and you can't just blow it out. It's just there forever until the wizard makes it stop, or until the I don't know, the fucking mana around decides to just stop feeding the fire.
Like, let's use D&D. Could a decanter of endless water deflect a fireball?
Yeah,
probably not.
Probably not. But yeah, again, magic's one of those things that's very difficult to calculate using actual math. I appreciate the effort, but even then, that's an optional move. Like, you giving the ability to summon a meteor, which, by the way, isn't even the strongest spell in Portrait of Ruin. Like, you know,
it's always the little ones you gotta look out for.
Yeah, it's Again, I appreciate the effort, but I don't think it's a real meteor. It doesn't actually crash to the ceiling. It's a magic meteor. Thus, how it generates force will probably be different. This is one of those in-betweens that you can never truly calculate, because magic, as far as we know, doesn't exist in this world. You know what I mean? If I could summon a magic meteor, maybe we'd have a better estimate. But otherwise, if we use a real meteor,
yeah, right.
I just think it's inaccurate.
Hang on, let me go train for a bit.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I get it, but I'm just...
That was the weird thing, is like studying the size, okay, and the composition. I was like, the composition is magic.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
So does that mean, like, could Shazam summon that?
Yeah, basically. And again, it wasn't even their strongest attack. It's a strong attack. It was a good amount of points.
But it's mostly very flashy, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and summoning meteor is always cool, no matter what series to do it in. Especially in, you know, Final Fantasy VII.
Or, you know, suplexing a train.
C7 is so cool. Hell yeah.
Would you like to shoot the train or suplex it? What was that second option? Suplex it. I would suplex it.
Punching it a few times and just fucking. Hell yeah.
I nat 20'd my strength check. I suplexed the train.
Final Fantasy 6 is so fucking good. There's a battle where you fight in free fall. You're fighting against some airborne enemy, and you're falling from the sky.
Pretty neat, actually.
And you can still fight against them. It's badass. Holy shit! 6 is some of the coolest fight scenes. But and then last we have power doesn't equal victory. We covered that a bit, but yes, just because a character has this huge arsenal of abilities doesn't mean they're always going to be able to use them. You know, think Aquaman. Man, I'm so badass in the water. Alright, well, unless I'm in water, you're not so badass. Punch to the face. You know what I mean?
You probably break your hand still, but you know.
Yeah, well, again, I was talking more like the very first Aquaman who sucked. Yeah, Aquaman now, they're like, okay, we need him to be able to be formidable outside of where, oh yeah, you don't want him to fuck with Aquaman. He's
it's like you talk to fish, right? And then he throws your car into the river and lets you drown, you know?
Yeah, basically, and then he feeds you to sharks.
I feel like out of all the heroes that'd be willing to kill, Aquaman is like the top of that list. New Aquaman.
It would. Aquaman controls actually most of the planet. He's ruler of yeah, exactly. He's ruler of like every sea and ocean. He can flood it. Can he cause tidal waves? Isn't that like a thing you can do?
Yeah.
Doesn't he have like water manipulation or some shit? Doesn't he just? I'm fairly certain he could literally drown the planet. Luckily, he's not evil. He's one of us. He's a good guy. But, you know.
There's a hunter down here in this chalice dungeon.
Take him out.
Well, I am. He's using beast claws. It's an NPC hunter. It's an NPC hunter, but it's a hunter, which is cause for alarm. And he also has rat friends that are helping him. And I'm using my pistol to attempt to, and I got him. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, oh my god, those rat friends are gonna kill me.
The last thing that I was able to bullet point was like the chaotic realm. You only go to the chaotic realm like one time. You beat a boss there, and there you go. There's not much information about the chaotic realm. I'm not quite sure even what he means. Well, Dracula has all this energy to feed off of.
He draws power from a single being in the universe.
When did he draw power from the chaotic realm? I think maybe it was the only game in which it was mentioned. It's been a while since I beat it, I admit, but Chaotic Realms again has only been in like one game.
I mean, they kind
you
of
go there, you do your thing, and then you leave.
Lords of Shadow.
Yeah, but that's a totally different continuity. Yeah, this Dracula is from the OG. Yeah. So like, again, it gets mentioned once, and then that's it.
Or you know, again, his most powerful attack being called Demon something, but using Holy Fire.
Yeah, I don't know where that Holy Fire came from. Maybe I'd have to rewatch it.
It was a description on. It was just the description of the attack. It just ended with "It burns people in holy fire."
Okay,
even though it was called Demon something or another.
Yeah, I wish I could remember what game that was.
So I'll give them that. At least that's how it was written.
yeah. I can't be too mad. But see, it's not that specific ability that I really care much about. It's them adding so much credit to the chaotic realm, which is just kind of a non-thing.
Listen, under that same rule, that means that Dracula is on par with Mega Man.exe.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, Mega
know.
Man.exe might be faster than him.
Maybe. Again, speed is relative and data and shit is fucking
know.
weird. I wouldn't even touch that.
But in their own universe, it's like 1-to-1, so you know that's the problem. It's when it comes down to
just...
in this universe, it's 1-to-1. It's like, yeah, but we're not in their universe, I think.
Yeah, so wouldn't the rules be a little different? I guess.
Nope, absolutely not.
Yeah. So
apparently.
Yeah.
And this dungeon is very fruitful.
So yeah, those are my reasons why this last battle, as most of them suck, they still to this day haven't fixed these easily fixable problems. And again, these things wouldn't bother me as much if they just were open to actual criticism. They made like several videos after the Goku versus Superman, just them like not admitting that they could be wrong or that they're just fans, but just trying to say, well, look, we're right. We're just right. We did the data. Like, you know, sorry to harp on that point, but it's just so obnoxious.
Have either of you watched the Lobo or the Lobo and Ghost Rider one?
No, I haven't. I haven't watched a Death Battle video in a long time. Yeah. Very long time.
I would like you guys to watch that, not even for conversation, but just for the fact that it's actually a really good fight. Even though it does kind of fall under the fallacy of, like, I don't know if Lobo could have killed Ghost Rider. I mean, he had, like, the ability to do something about it, but I don't know if actually, like, put him down was an option. But
yeah, I don't know too much about these characters.
It is a nifty fight.
Yeah. That's my biggest thing. Like, I don't know too much about Ghost Rider or Lobo, so I wouldn't be able to call their bullshit out like I could if it was two characters I actually know, like, say, Sasuke and Kie.
Well, that's the thing. I thought, spoiler, by the way, I thought that Lobo was just going to win the fight because he was, you know, Lobo.
Yeah.
But they surprised me, which them surprising me is the only reason I, like, recommended it. It's like, look, they didn't do the thing I thought they would do.
Yay. I think their 1 minute melees are way better.
I got the Beast Claw. They are. Yeah. They added a little bit more spectacle to them. But
so their 1 minute melees are just, it's like watching a fighting game, just two characters going at it, regardless of power. Like, Trunks versus Link wouldn't actually be a good fight.
No, it would be awful.
But it looks like a cool fight because in 1 minute melee, again, it's like a video game. Mm-hmm. I picked Link, someone else picked Trunks, and regardless of their individual abilities outside of it, it could be either or.
It's like Smash Brothers.
Yeah, exactly. And the video is so short, it's easy to follow. Again, it's just a cool fight, and then it's like, I don't know who's gonna win. In this series, anyone could win. So when a character I think loses, I'm like, oh well. To me, it's like, okay, so the player who picked that character who won was just better than the other one. A way more interesting series. And again, they have no, unlike in a death battle where you have to actually try, even though I don't think they try they don't try hard enough. But you know, it can be literally it can be Sailor Moon. It can be fucking Sailor Moon versus Goku, and I'd watch that. So that'd be cool. Sailor Moon can fight, not as well as Goku, but in a fighting game, hey, all bets are off.
Could Sailor Moon beat Superman because she's magic discuss?
That's actually.
To be fair, he would be vulnerable to it, but I don't think she can beat it.
It's like he'd be vulnerable, but it's like the level of magic.
It's been a long time since.
Yeah.
I thought about Sailor Moon. Do they have like any sort of like barrier or anything else?
I think some of them do.
I mean, if they can, then they, by default, almost have like a chance.
I mean, can't Superman break through barriers when he punches them?
I'm not sure if it's magic.
I'll be right back.
Alright. P-Break. Edward.
That if you just completely let the guard down.
I mean, I doubt it, because you can still hear everything. That's the thing that I've never really liked. Like, if you're gonna use magic, like, the person using that magic has to be like, magic, you have to be like, really on top of the shit, because just because someone's vulnerable to something doesn't mean it's actually gonna, like, just work. Even though they're vulnerable to a lot of shit, but we're pretty good at avoiding death if we're just somewhat cautious. Like, yeah, if I get shot, that'd be pretty bad.
I just thought I heard something, so.
Yeah, but if I never get shot with a bullet, I'll be fine. So, and then with Superman, he's still so fast. Like, wouldn't he just hear you casting a fucking spell?
Probably.
You know, like, yeah, Shazam could probably tell you guys get a chance because he's strong and fast and shit. But like, your everyday random magic throwing
his magic
wizard
lightning
is
bolt
gonna
would
get
affect him the same way normal lightning, or the way lightning affects a normal person. So, ow.
Yeah, basically.
Also, I found, well, it's a new weapon to me, but I found a weapon called the Beast Claw. It's like someone took like just 2 finger bones of a beast and put it on the right arm, and that's the weapon. But if you like do its trick form, you hear like a beast screech, and your left arm becomes like an actual like beast's arm. It's supposed to like pair with like beast blood pellets and like the claw mark runes that actually like it turns you into a beast when you use them. It's nifty, but I don't think it's what I want to use. So it also has an arcane requirement, but I mean it's not that. Or
Yeah,
no, it doesn't.
arcane.
It doesn't. It just has some partial arcane. Yeah.
Yeah, they like say like something you're not sure to use.
Not right now. Like I said, if I get through this game, then I'll go through New Game Plus, and for like the first couple levels, get Arcane up to a decent amount maybe. But right now, I don't care about it too much. Just because I have my weapons, and I've traded out my Saw Cleaver for the Holy Sword. Or not the Holy Sword, Ludwig's Holy Blade. But I'm still using the Boom Hammer. Because I've figured out what they're both good for. One's like high damage, one's good like area checking, so.
Eminem is a goddamn right he is.
What is Eminem doing?
Oh, it was just an old video I saw on my YouTube feed.
Yeah, it's always funny to look back at like what videos have I liked through the years, and it's like, oh wow, ooh, 2009 was weird.
Yeah, it came out via 2009. I feel like I don't think I've ever really watched anything different. I still watch like my favorite Let's Players every now and then.
You watch a lot more political stuff.
And yeah, I guess that'd be the only thing.
Well, I mean, things
There's just, like,
change.
one
I still
thing I
watch.
found.
I try to watch a little bit of everything.
Oh, I definitely changed.
You know, I don't watch some of the things I used to watch because what I used to watch was trash. There's like no not even like objectively trash. It was just trash. And then there's so many things where it's like, man, this would be really cool if I could recommend it, but I can't. It's because
Yeah,
it's trash. Right.
But yeah.
No secret entrances yet.
No more tactiles for a while. I mean, I guess I could always watch an older one, and if it's 2 characters I know, that'd be the only way I can really call them on their craft. Like, okay, I know these 2 characters pretty well.
That's fair.
Because your everyday person isn't gonna know about that Triforce thing, right? If they watched it again, they probably just watched the rest of Fight. You know what I mean? But they don't know that you can't break the Triforce of Power. Like, what the world?
Of all the things that are breakable, the Triforce of Power is not one of them.
Yeah, pretty much.
I forget who the
break
next.
it.
They did a preview of it, but I forgot. You can probably look it up and just look at the end of the video. Who the next fighters are? It's like at the end. It's.
I
Yeah.
honestly don't remember. Hold on. The stupid reasons. Car battery bullshit.
Yeah. That's, you know, that's borderline insulting. It's like- that's borderline insulting where it's just like, you're a double
Okay.
A, I'm a car battery.
They put an ad right before. It's like,
Of
next battle ad. I'm like, oh,
Of course.
damn it. Gave
Dogs
them
and
that ad revenue. Wasn't going to, very well.
Yeah, they've gotten better at not being able to skip ads.
It's the Mob Man
Oh, that's right. It's
versus,
the guy from Mob Psycho versus
Tsubaki.
the chick from One Punch Man. So they're both. He's using or they're using the artist, I guess, one's titles.
Yeah, I don't know.
But also, one of them
I don't
is
know too
technically
much
a
enough about the characters.
character in a gag anime, and the other one isn't.
Season 2 for Mob.
Yeah, but if I'm sure I watched, I could always find all these fucking.
Would you say, Matt, they're probably promoting season 2?
I mean, I'm saying Travis isn't seeing season 2.
Oh, I thought you said they were promoting. I was like, well, if they're promoting it, then I already know who's gonna win, because
Yeah, that'll be the promotion.
yeah. You know, we like to have promotions of our characters losing. Makes us feel good.
It's like, oh, you want us to promote your character? Oh, yeah, well, your character's gonna lose.
It's like, what do you mean he's gonna lose? It's like, well, he's just gonna lose. There's no ifs, ands, or buts
that
here.
character to lose. What do you want?
What do you want from
No,
me?
we're just gonna make shit up. That's what we do.
What do you want? A fair fight? Look at this guy. He wants a fair fight. Get out of here.
What is that? Swedish death waiting.
So, I don't know how long we've been. The screen's gonna go a little wonky here, but I'm getting attacked, of course, as soon as I checked. I heard the screech and I was attacked. Alright, let's try that again real quick. Broadcasting for I don't know how long. So, we will never know.
Oh, it doesn't say.
We won't know. But, I'll probably finish up this floor. Oh!
Yeah.
What was that?
I'll probably finish up this floor and then probably end it, but I'm really interested. I'm really glad that I found this dungeon, because everything in this is, I mean, they hurt, but at the same time, they're giving a lot of echoes, so makes it kind of worth it.
Sorry, Tom.
That was my bad. That was my bad. I ran out of stamina, but I didn't that time. But I almost just straight up died there. I literally had no health to see. But I went through one layer of this dungeon and I came out with like 5 levels worth of echoes. So I'm hoping to come out again from this floor with like at least 4 levels of echoes.
I'm sure it'll work out.
So let's see. We talked about Death Battle for a good amount of time, which I'm proud of us. Ooh, secret passageway. Nope, spider. Now I know where you're coming from. Fuck off.
Whoa.
Piss off, ghost.
What is this?
Let me try to. Now I gotta figure out what else to speak about, because Death Battle is.
Trying to figure out what's going on here.
Yeah, let's you asked this earlier, Matt, but I haven't really started any like new shows. I'm not sure if anybody wants to hear us bitch about Gundam for the next 15 minutes. Unless you want to, Travis. I mean, we can go through that whole repertoire we did yesterday all over again.
I would need more time.
We need to get another
very long stream.
You know
it'd
what?
have to be a separate stream.
Let's. I wouldn't mind if we started planning for that a little bit.
Yeah, actually, that would be pretty sweet.
Just something where it's just like, let's start at the beginning.
Shit.
So that would have to be. That'd probably be like a month at work at most, just to make sure we can, like, we find everything, and then I have to stay engaged in whatever I'm doing for a while.
Yeah, that's a monster of a doozy there.
So we have to start with Gundam, then go to Zeta Gundam, then. So if we're going with the UC timeline, it's Gundam, Zeta Gundam, Double Zeta Gundam, Char's counterattack.
Jesus.
Unicorn, I guess, is next.
Is it? Does it say? I don't know.
I think it's next.
UC, when they all blend together, I'm just like,
yeah.
I just want to focus on the individual story for the most part, but they're not super creative, typically.
And then alternatively, we can, for slightly less time, we could talk about, oh, this is an interesting boss, or not a boss, but an enemy I've never seen. Cool. And I will never know what they are. But, like, then we can talk about other ones, like Double O, which, we've talked about that enough. When Matt, if you're going to watch any Gundam series, you should probably watch Double O. Because it's probably just the easiest to slip into.
I'd say so. It's definitely better than a lot of the ones that came out back in the 90s. With the exception of Gene Gun, like I like Double O more than Seed. More than Seed Destiny easily.
Seed had
Wing.
decent mobile suit designs,
I like
but
the
besides
Wing
that, that was
too.
like nothing else.
Yeah. It's just their characters were and the story was as well. I think it's probably like the nostalgia blinders why like people really love Wing. You know.
I
Nothing wrong
haven't
with
watched
that.
it in a while, but if
Just
you watch like any of the clips out of context, it doesn't seem great. Again, though, mobile suit designs top notch.
Oh yeah, very memorable. No doubt about that.
But it was definitely around that time where, and even Double O suffers from this like super edgy syndrome.
Yeah, I think sometimes they just try too hard. Just step back a little bit. There were some pretty dark
Step
moments
back,
even
sir.
in Turn A, but for the most part, it was
I mean, Double O had some decent ones. You know, spoilers if you haven't seen it. And Matt, spoilers for you. But then there's just that one scene where that one chick just like she like veers off course and then just destroys a house party because she was bored, and essentially ruins someone's life.
well, that was one of the things I loved about Double O. Everyone who had something coming to them, like
They eventually
what was
got
coming
it.
to 'em.
Oh yeah.
It took a while, but when it
So
does,
there you go, Matt. Look forward to that. You're gonna see
had
all
to-
these people
I
and
had
you're like,
to
man, fuck
rewatch.
these people, and then
Yeah, I
it's,
rewatched those episodes. At least those moments. Like it's just waiting a long time for that moment. It's just love it.
but that's the thing, is it makes it really sweet. And even characters that are like annoying, that are like I mean, I know we said we would save it, but now I can't. So we'll do some talking specifically about Double O just because it's not going to be as long as you see. Like, do you remember Saji?
Which one? Which one was Saji?
The Saji Crossroad, the dude that he was with the blonde-haired chick who in the first season was like
Okay.
very bratty, and in the second one she was
Yep.
more in the military.
He was pretty cool.
Well, that's the thing, is he started out, you know, for what it's worth, if anyone has anything to complain about, it's him.
I mean, yeah, basically.
It's
Honestly,
like, man, he's acting like such a bitch. It's like he was not doing anything. He literally got caught in the middle of this twice.
Yeah. Most of the worst things that happen in the series are a result of our so-called heroes. The protagonists of Double O are to blame for damn near almost everything.
Heads up, Matt, and anybody else starting it. Season 1 is a 25-episode character development where you're gonna hate
It's
the main
hard
characters.
to get into.
I think Melon told me about that. The first season's
Very difficult.
terrible, but the second season's great.
The second season rights the wrongs, and that's the thing, is that even narratively, the things that you don't like about Season 1 are actually narratively set up to kind of happen. Like, the whole point of Season 1 is they're like, we want to, you know, stop war or unite the world, stop war and unite the world. Well, they end up uniting the world against themselves.
Yeah.
So,
Which I don't know about
they
what that's
technically
planned.
accomplished their goals.
I like how
Yeah, it was
Anakin
just
balanced
dumb,
the
and it
Force.
just led
Yeah.
to like the worst things happening.
Kind of like how Anakin balanced
Oh yeah,
the Force.
and then they united
Yeah,
the world,
I
but then it just got
suppose so.
worse.
At least in his case, it was done better. But their plan was so stupid, and there's so many holes
Yeah.
into it. You kind of
It was very like blind
this is what you
devotion.
came up with? This was your plan? This sounds dumb for a variety of reasons, of which get mentioned in the second season. But then they're shocked that this is happening to them. It's like, what?
But then
It's
that's
like
the
people
character
see
development,
softly,
because
like,
all these characters get way better in season 2.
How did you not know this was gonna happen? But yeah, I pretty much called it immediately. It was so... man. Yeah, but yeah, that second season, it definitely... I'll tell you what, like, I don't know what channel or whatever Double O ever, like, came on, but, like...
It came on Cartoon Network Adult Swim for a while, and man, I hate this, because there's
I
like
feel
9
like-
spiders here.
I feel like some animes you have to watch in bulk. Some of them were just made to watch in bulk, because
Yeah.
I couldn't have watched Double O if I was watching episode to episode.
Oh yeah, no, because you
After,
wouldn't
like,
give a
the
crap.
6th or 7th episode, I would have been done. I was like, this series sucks. I hate these characters. They're all fucking morons. I hope they get what's coming to them. And
Then plus the quality between
I'm
season
done.
1 and 2 is spectacularly
That too.
more.
Yeah, that too. It's just like, come on. Needs more shining fingers.
And needs more
Needs
shining
more.
fingers.
Needs more tequila Gundam. Like, I've had enough. You know.
And then season 2 fixes most of that stuff, genuinely.
It does.
Because in season 1, where they're like, we want to unite the world, the second one's just, okay, so what ended up happening is that a bad government agency took over, kind of like the difference between Gundam and like Zeta Gundam. Actually, it's very close. The difference is that, you know, the bad guys aren't working for the Nazis.
Yeah, that's true. Thank goodness. Although I don't think I had any Nazis.
Not really, no. They had no Siegs.
Thank goodness. Had Double been part of the UC timeline, it would have been a much shittier show.
It would have been not great, in my opinion.
Yeah, wouldn't have finished it. Still don't like I don't. At least I don't much care for the final movie, but I don't think you have to watch it.
The
I
movie,
think
you don't have to, no. But I like the
season
movie
2
in the
be done
fact
with
that it technically ends the saga on what it was supposed to be. Like, it built it up to like, oh god, I'm gonna die because I couldn't pick items up. But it's like, the whole point of them uniting humanity is to prepare humanity for dialogues with an alien race, and they actually do it.
Yeah, see, that's the great thing about series that aren't.
Though the
tied to
movie's
each
not great.
timeline. They're allowed to at least actually end.
Yeah,
Like, all the characters end up in relatively good shape. Like, okay, I'm happy to see that it all worked out.
Actually, yeah, most characters in
like,
that show actually get a good ending.
Yeah, I'm like in UC where it's like, well, how much longer until Xeon assaults, I don't know, another space station? We gotta do this all over again. You know,
Or,
how much time? We got 10 years,
Or,
20
hey, you
years.
like this character? He's dead in the
Gotta
scene
happen.
that you barely noticed.
Oh yeah, or they die off screen. You don't kill off a main character, talking about Zeta Gundam here, off fucking screen. Unless there's some sort of 200-year time skip. Then okay, yeah, then of course they're fucking dead. You don't have them just, like, what the fuck were they thinking?
Or
He just
having
kills
Camille
himself?
go like brain dead. Or yeah, he either goes brain. The optional endings are he goes brain dead or he kills himself.
Yeah, so our hero, we just spent 70, 80 episodes with, he fucking shoots himself or whatever the fuck happened to him off screen.
Yeah.
That's an excellent idea. Yep. That's
Or
that's
like
how you wanna do it.
in the manga
What a
of
waste of
Char's
fucking
counterattack, Amuro dies, but in the movie it's like ambiguous. But then later you see his soul in Unicorn, so it's like he's probably dead.
At the very least, at least we saw it happen to him. We don't know what happened to him.
He
but we
became a
saw
soul in the time stream.
Fucking disappeared in a pillar of light, saved the world. I'm like, all right, cool. I guess he's dead now. I don't know.
I guess he's dead. I think.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. But yeah, that. Oh man, that is a great idea. It's a long idea, but yeah, I can definitely see going through.
Yeah,
A
and
lot of
heads
the
up to anybody
more
that watches
popular
this later,
Gundams.
it's gonna be a lot of complaining about somebody's favorite something or another.
A lot of grievances. If you like the UC timeline, you might as well just not even tune
Which,
in.
you know, here's the
Telling you.
thing. As it was, I didn't think there was anything wrong with it, but then when you really look at it, it's just like, man, way too many similarities here.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I
Yeah.
get it. It's like, okay, look at Zeta Gundam, is that, okay, it's the Federation this time that are kind of the bad guys, or at least a section of it. And then Double Zeta goes right back to that, or also in Zeta, Xeon also exists, so then it's 3 factions that I don't really care about. In Gundam
It's like,
Unicorn,
here we go
it's a Char
again.
clone, it's like, okay, and then in Narrative, it's a failed Char clone. Which, by the way,
Fucking clones.
for the most part, when I find reviews about Gundam Narrative, they're mostly negative, because they are like, the animation quality isn't up to snuff, the characters suck, the story sucks. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, it should have been called Gundam Negative.
Gundam Negative, yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool name, but mostly because people will have a lot of negative things to say about it.
The negative
It made the
Gundam.
most amount of sense.
And then they're doing another
Gundam
thing
bad
at some
narrative.
point. They're
That'd
doing
be good.
Hathaway's Flash at some point, which takes place in like, I don't know. Like I looked into it and it has something to do like with aliens, I think. I'm not sure, and that bothers me. But it has to do with like Bright's son.
Bright Noah. There was a manga who was in. It doesn't. He gets a bad ending. I don't know if you already know.
Does Bright get a bad ending too?
No. His son does.
Oh, jeez. How does
You
he
wanna
end?
know?
Yeah, I do.
So, unless they make some sort of changes, he joins like a terrorist organization. They captured him, and then Bright has to basically watch as his son basically is executed for like treason or some shit.
Wow. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not great.
Yeah, not great at all. Nope. He was a little shit though, so who cares?
Was he?
Yeah. Remember,
Okay.
he was like, wasn't he the asshole that killed like Amuro's girlfriend?
He might have. I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure that was him in Char's counterattack, because she blows
I'm gonna
up.
remember. I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember
that
too much
he
from
likes.
Char's counterattack because
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
I like the
Okay,
movie
but
overall, but everything is dumb.
I'm fairly positive. Okay, so like, he has like a crush on one of the girls that likes like extremely loyal to Char because she's like insane.
Oh yeah.
So she kills her, and then Bright Noah's kid kills Amuro's girlfriend. And I'm like, yeah, he's unhinged. So when I found out he joined a terrorist organization, I'm like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
That makes
Little
sense that he would
fucking
be anti everything his dad's for, I guess.
Yeah, he's a little psycho. I feel bad mostly for Bright because like that was his blood, that was his kid. And I'm
He's
sorry,
getting-
but you know,
Yeah, this beast is.
Kid had a
these
comment.
things happen. What do you want?
I want better endings
Yeah,
for
but-
characters. Damn it.
I'm sure he wants a better son.
Actually, oh, that's the other thing. You talk about this. There was like a side story game where like these two people start off as enemies, and they later find out like the guy like fully intends to kill this girl. He didn't know it was like a young girl at the time because she was one of the new type experiments, and she killed his captain. And so he was like fully intending on killing her until he found out she was like a confused, scared girl because of the the Hades, or not the Hades, the exam system was like fucking up her brain. But then it's literally like, oh yeah, after the war everything's fine, they open up a cafe, but oh, by the way, the side effect of the exam system is that you die an early death because your brain explodes. It's like,
That
you
sucks.
can't, like, it literally ended on a picturesque, like, they got married, they had a kid, and they opened a cafe. Sadly, she died like 6 months later. It's like, why?
And suddenly, brain aneurysm.
It's like, why? Why, though? It's like, you just showed me that they're having a good time. Why would you do this to me? And then it's like, fuck you.
Like,
And then it
man,
just
why
backs
do you
out
want me
with,
to have a bad
and then the
taste
game
in
just
your
backs
mouth?
out with a middle finger, like, fuck you.
Yeah, basically, it starts to fade out of existence. It's solid, and it just fades away. And it's like, yeah, all right.
This guy just killed me.
Thanks
But I'm
for
gonna come
that.
back
I'll
for
make
it.
sure not to tell anyone about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a decent looking game, but
It's like, because that's how we roll. Except for Double O, which again actually had a good ending. Good for them.
yeah, that's the thing, is you can watch Double O and get a decent ending on the show and also like the movie, like both ones end fine.
But
But
they did have a good ending, you know. People are part.
even though there was like a
surreal.
relationship potential there that just
Cool.
didn't happen.
Yeah, yeah. Especially since there was a lot of build up. Then they're like, never mind.
You know what? How it ends? They just hug. It's okay.
She never bonded with an alien, so she's just gonna die of natural
Yeah,
causes.
yeah, oh yeah. She didn't bond, so it's like, could she still?
Honestly,
Oh,
why you
absolutely.
Time.
Fucking do it.
Cancer.
What do you
The-
have to lose? They're no
Random
longer
object falling
aggressive
from
now.
Space.
Just do it.
Literally, the whole thing is the fact that they could have just, like, the whole ending of the movie is that they bond themselves, well, not everybody, but they start working in tandem with these aliens and some bond to each other, and then it, you know, because the thing is, when you bond with the alien, it like makes you essentially the next evolution of human immediately. But if it's like a forceful bonding, it like causes your brain to go haywire. It causes almost irreparable damage.
Yeah, you fucking die.
Also, it's horrible. Like, you see it in the movie, like people getting assimilated, and it's just like metal spikes growing out of people's body, and it's awful.
Yeah, because they're still under the impression, I think we're supposed to fight each other or something. That's how we communicate? Okay.
Yeah, that was one thing I didn't like about that, is that it was just like...
It's just kind of contrived.
Well, it was just like, they were fighting, so, like, the humans were fighting, so that's what the aliens thought. It's like, yeah, but after you assimilate, like, let's say 5 people, you can learn there's other ways to communicate.
Oh, yeah, now that I can, like, read his thoughts and shit, he actually doesn't want to be doing this. Oh, hey, everyone, stop, chill. That's actually the worst thing you can do is kill another human. Whoops. Our bad. Miscommunication here.
Oopsie.
You know, so the people who are left, though, you're gonna live an exceptional long time, so...
Oh, yeah.
You know.
And it literally got to the point where there was, like, in the manga it continued, it was like, there's an old human faction that doesn't like to be, you know, innovative, or innovators, and it's like, so why do they exist, though? Like, who cares?
Yeah, nobody, because no one agrees with them. No, like, no one.
Like, it literally got to the point where they just stopped, like, producing mobile suits.
Yeah, you wouldn't...
Like, they were like, alright, what do we have at this time? Alright, that's all we're gonna use. Like, we're gonna, like, improve the design, but we're never gonna make more. It's like...
Yeah,
that's not... Yeah. It's perfect peace.
There's no need for him. So I give him that. I thought the movie was relatively unnecessary. I think it could have been just part of the... I don't know, maybe like a 2-3 episodes special? I don't know. Or not at all. Since I know it exists, I would say if you're gonna watch all of season 2, you might as well watch the movie, because at the very least,
it's a good 2 hours.
It has a good ending.
And it's visually very nice to look at.
Yeah, it's animation's top notch. It's fine.
And at least they have an excuse to use beams all the time, because if you touch these things, it's bad.
Yeah, you don't want to touch them. Bad until much later.
Oh, I might die again already. Man, I hate this boss fight, but I love it at the same time. Yeah.
You got it this time, maybe.
I'm hoping. It's one of those, like, it's a boss I've already beaten, but I'm not actually equipped for the fight properly, I don't think. And it's also a lot stronger than it was. Technically, I've beaten the boss version of this, a mini-boss version, and now a harder boss version. Oh, I backstabbed it. Oh, but I messed up.
Yeah, because you gotta do it twice, or something.
No. It just jumped past me, and my guy, like, turned. And I don't have my antidotes. Oh no, but I can still move around.
Sounds like Monster Hunter.
Kinda.
He's like, shit.
He just kind of got startled and said, oh,
I died. Yeah, I forgot to equip my anti-poisons.
Gotta load them their antidotes.
My anti-poison.
I bought 99 of them.
And yeah. And you know, if you love color coordination, you'll definitely love Gundam 00.
Oh yeah.
They're all about color coordination. The blue guy pilots the blue thing, the orange guy pilots the orange thing. Yeah, pretty much. It's yeah. It's very close.
Yeah, so that way you don't fool the kids. Although I feel like even as a kid I was like, it's just a little bit strange that they all wear the same colors.
It's their favorite color.
Yes, but I mean, people don't always wear their favorite color every time. It's just...
Or like how in cartoons they'd always wear the same clothes.
Actually, yeah, it's very accurate.
Well, in this case, yeah, I think it's a little different because they weren't always wearing the same clothes. They were just always wearing the same color.
I mean, they're uniforms.
Clothes for the same color, and it's just like, eh.
I was talking about fucking,
Power Rangers, they did, yeah.
Oh, some like of the companies who actually made the show was like, let's actually make a joke of it. Shows the character opens up the closet, has like 15 of the same outfit.
Hey, you gonna wear your blue shirt with your brown jacket again? You know it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's an excellent idea. Just saves you time.
Animation
A lot of things out.
saves you money.
Yeah. Oh, I'm saying like even in like real life, if you wore just an outfit like the same, not exactly the same one, but the same kinds, you're pretty much good. Like if you wore like the same 3 combination of like pants and shirt, maybe 2 pair of shoes, like yeah, you're good. You don't really have to think about it. Just rotate them.
Just rotate when you do them. Make sure you take them down to the wash.
And then you're good.
I think this boss is just, it's kind of hard to telegraph, and then, you know, if anybody ever watches it, they're going to be like, it's not that hard, you idiot, but it's like...
It's like, scrub, I beat him naked.
Essentially, its entire back has been, like, flayed open, and the skin just kind of hangs over the front, so it's very hard to see when it's moving sometimes.
Mm.
Also, it does poison damage, so fuck it immediately.
I wonder if there's anyone that's done a blind run of Bloodborne.
Probably not. I mean, I'm sure there... when Bloodborne first came out, probably.
Hmm. You never know what's possible until you see someone to do it, and then it just shakes up your reality.
Like the one dude who did Castlevania Symphony of the Night blindfolded.
You know, people do a lot of games
Hang
blindfolded.
on, did you mean blindfolded run, or just, like, going in blind?
No, like blindfolded, or just have your eyes closed, whatever the case may be. Because people do that.
Weird.
They are, or, you know, they play a game that shouldn't be played with a Guitar Hero controller with a Guitar Hero controller.
But they do it. It happens.
Yeah, I know, and it's...
The guy was playing, like, a fighting game, one of them...
By the way,
like
this is the
race
pinnacle of boss fights,
field.
by the way. It attacks, and then I poke it, and then I run away.
Poke, do some rolls.
Pretty
Poke,
much.
do some rolls.
Though it's not rolling when you're locked on. When you're locked on, you sidestep.
Oh, okay.
The problem is, since it's a boss, it's too big to actually stagger unless I stab it in the butt.
Like, woo!
And he has like
You'll pay for it this time.
he has like room clearing slashes, and he just grabs me and I'm dead. Yeah. But I have 258,666 souls.
Yeah, but he doesn't care about any of that.
I know. I say souls.
Whatever
Souls is just way easier to say than blood echoes.
Blood. Yeah, blood, soul, eh.
So I don't know. I like soul better. I have 200,000 blood souls.
I think even Code Vein they use souls. Wait, well, hold on. I think they're
I think
vampires.
blood.
So I think they might use blood.
Yeah.
What's that smell? It's blood.
Yeah.
The good news is I only used like 2 antidotes that time.
Wait, does he actually like deal poison damage or?
Yeah, his second form is like it poisons you.
Okay.
And I just died way faster that time. Wow.
Yeah,
Call me
he's
scrub, I
careless,
guess.
You just want to beat it, and
Well, part of me wants to end, but also part of me is like, if I don't do this, I'm gonna forget it, then die doing something else, and be like, oh yeah, 200,000 souls.
oh yeah, definitely don't forget that stuff. That's a lot of moolah.
Yeah, that's, like I said, it's like 4 or 5 level ups. Which theoretically, I could do it again if I just go through this dungeon, because that's where I've gotten most of them. But it's the fact that I already had them, that they belong to me, you giant, poison, flayed open bastard.
Yeah. It's like dropping a wallet somewhere. You can't even sleep until you get it
It's
back.
like, it was an empty wallet. But it was my wallet.
Mm.
Well, I mean...
Oh hey, someone's
Yeah,
watching.
but if you actually had stuff like, you know...
Oh, two people
$200,000
are watching. Hello, people.
briefcase, you're just kind of like, holy moly. So why you would keep it in a briefcase, I don't know. Actually, reminds me of a pretty interesting story. I think this happened in India. There was a dude who won the lottery, and then instead of just turning it in or something, he won the lottery. He's like, sweet, I won, and then he fell asleep. He took a nap on the couch, and he wakes up, and it was just gone. Just disappeared off the face of the earth. I don't know if he fell into the couch. I imagine he tore that fucking thing apart. Did not find it. and then he ended up killing himself.
Ooh.
So, yeah,
Rough.
turn that goddamn ticket in the second you
Immediately.
can. But
Like, unless
actually
it's like
don't play the
midnight, but then
lottery at
even
all.
then you
It's
put it
stupid.
in your wallet or something.
Yeah, that was just not a good idea. And then another dude won, but he put all the money in briefcases for some reason, and then like some people stole like 2 of them. So it's like I would think you learn your lesson.
Yeah, the money would either be straight in the bank or in my house, and it would never like leave.
Yeah, not in that many bills though. Like Jesus.
Yeah, no, certainly no.
Yeah. Just being like probably a spread of accounts, just in case. But
Well, I would definitely
money
put a
I
lot
have
of it
on
into
me.
like savings, and it grabbed me again, and I'm dead because it does like 3 attacks, and oh man.
then like maybe keep $100 in my wallet just in case. Or something.
The problem is I need to buy more fire paper or electric paper. I mean, I think it's fire, but it also might be resistant to fire. Hang on, I gotta check the wiki.
Animating wiki. What kills this guy?
Yeah. Blood-starved beast. Da-da-da. Yeah, hate it. Oh yeah, because its poison stat is maxed out at 999. Great.
Oh, geez.
Ailing Laron Chalice, which is what I'm doing. Da-da-da. It is weak to fire damage, so how much? But my Molotovs don't do too much, so let me break these real quick and see how much I get out of them. 6,000.
Wait, what are the challenges for exactly? Chalices?
Grinding soul, or grinding echoes, or, yeah, like, potentially just grinding echoes, or, I could use the church set. Theoretically. Actually, I'll give that a shot, but I don't want to rely on straight defense.
Well, that's interesting.
But, sorry, what was the question again? Oh, the
I
dungeons.
say what the challenges are used for, so I guess just for grinding purposes.
They are for, like, this one, like I said, it's like I'm getting a lot for this dungeon, so it's pretty good in my opinion.
Did you get your 200,000 souls back?
Well, I try to grab them before I start the fight every time, but then I die, so I lose them again, because they're in the boss room, and I can't get them back unless I enter the room, and then you can't leave the boss room.
You're just gonna have to take them out
Somehow, yeah.
eventually.
Let's see, I'm gonna use some insight to buy some paper. No, and I fell. Alright, I'm gonna use some insight to buy some paper, some FOIA paper. So if I can hit, I mean, my hammer does fire damage, but it doesn't do as much. Doesn't do as much like raw potential damage. I'll buy 15 because I only have like 15 insight, but
Alright.
I have 1 Great One's Wisdom, which I think gives me a decent amount of insight, and then I have like 16 other like things that gives me insight. So
More
okay.
things, more dangerous things again.
So the thing is, like, if I'm grabbed, that's it. So attacks that just do like quarter my health, half my health, the rest of my health. So. And yeah, I think in the other games, I don't remember, couldn't you like go into the boss room, grab your things, and then leave? No?
Nope. Mm-mm.
Thought you
Yeah,
could.
once you
Yeah,
once
that
you
was
go
my
in,
bad
you're
then.
pretty much, yeah, you're pretty much in it to win it.
This is all on me then. My bad, everybody. You know, I was about to run into the boss room without actually equipping anything. No, theoretically, I think I could grab them and use my Bold Hunter's Mark. I'll give that a shot. Because there's like a Hunter's Mark, which is like infinite uses, and then a Bold Hunter's Mark, which is less uses, but it actually lets you take your souls. Echoes. Soul echoes. Let me give that a shot.
And then
actually.
you can just go back to home base or something.
Yeah, I just did it. Okay.
Oh, alright, cool.
Never knew I could do that.
Alright, so
Never
you
even
can't-
thought
okay,
about
so-
it.
Yeah, so you can't do it naturally. You have to use an item. So.
And it's a finite use
even-
item. So, okay, so I have all my things. I'm gonna go turn these in. And then
Don't want
fight the
anything
boss with
silly to
much
happen.
less stakes.
Yeah, you don't want anything silly to happen.
There's some kind of shenanigans happening. So I'm gonna change my attire back to the cool guy clothes.
Mildly annoying.
Shard. I keep wanting to say. See, Gundam's ruined me. I keep wanting to say Shard.
Goddamn Char.
Yeah. I mean, I know he was always the bad guy. I didn't think he was as big of an asshole as he was until I saw the origin, and I guess that's canon, so.
Yeah, but it's also dumb. But the biggest thing is, if you wanted to do this origin bullshit, could you have included White Quattro, which the alias he was going with, who was a good guy in Zeta, but then number 3 he's back
Well,
to just
technically
being
he
evil.
was still, like, anti-Federation, but so was, like, everybody in there. He was, like, because that's their whole faction in Zeta Gundam, is the anti-Earth Union group.
Yeah. But he wasn't like Xeon Scum in that
Yeah.
one.
And then he became Xeon Scum again. And even then,
Yeah,
when he
you
was in Xeon, he hated other people in Xeon.
Yeah, so you just hated everybody. It's like you're just a psycho. I don't know what your deal is. I
Yeah,
thought we
he
had
sent a
an
dude to
understanding.
his death that had promising future and just took over his life, essentially.
That's dumb. I hate
Because
when
Shar's
stuff
not even
comes
his
out
real
later.
name. He stole the
Yeah, I
name.
hate it. It's just dumb. I hate when things that have been out for a really long time. You
Alright,
just
I'm
try
going
to
into the
make
fight
some
with less
new
souls and
bullshit
more health. Let's
reasoning
do
or
this.
Origin. It's not a good idea. It's just dumb.
Also, it kind of
totally
retcons
changes
things. It
everything.
puts, like, mobile suits before other mobile suits, before they should exist, I think.
And it just changed a lot of things for the worse, because now you can't... It has to just not exist for you to enjoy things as you used to, basically.
Yeah, for how they were. If you want to enjoy them, you can't.
Yeah, not if like Origins exists, because it's just gonna ruin a lot of stuff. It's just stupid. It's like the perfect comparison being Dragon Ball / Dragon Ball Z. Super's added so many retcons to the series that if I took Super seriously, like, I could never watch Dragon Ball Z again, because they just, well, specifically Dragon Ball Z, I would say, because it just ruins so much character. Like, holy shit. And that's what Origins essentially is. I don't think it's as big as a, as wide as Super, but nonetheless, you're ruining a character who the third movie actually already ruined him. But still,
He was supposed
what
to
the
be
fuck?
like this. Like, he's not a good guy, but he's this kind of suave, like, dude. And then it's just like, no, he's just a dick.
Just hates everyone, goes against them, don't care. Destroy the world just because I'm the bad guy. It's what we do.
No,
right?
he just wants to
Destroy
kill
the earth.
humans. The world will be fine, because without humans, the
Oh,
world.
okay.
Yeah.
No, it's alright.
It's like,
Kill
yeah,
all
well then,
humans.
humans are the world.
Alright.
So
Yeah, basically.
I know that
That's
sounds
not a good
super
idea.
self-centered, but in my opinion,
Kill all humans.
what are you? What are you, Robot Santa?
Well, that's Bender.
I know, but Robot Santa did it too.
Robot Santa just killed the indiscriminately.
Yeah, fair. Hard-hitting Futurama facts.
Oh, yeah. Good
Fucking
stuff.
Robot Santa.
Excellent show.
It is. It was actually, in my opinion, as far as shows go, pretty good. Like,
Yeah. Liked it for a long time.
it had moments where it's like early on it was definitely more of a comedy, and then as it went on, they were like, as a lot of comedy shows go, it's like, all right, we can actually have deep moments too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, I've
That
decided to
actually
not
kinda
use the
reminds
heavy
me-
weapons on this fight.
Something a bit faster. Kind of
Yeah.
remind me of like how Simpsons used to be.
Where they would have, like, it's funny, but then they have, like, the episodes where they actually tackle issues that are, like, should be tackled.
Yeah, just a lot of good.
Like, what do you,
wholesome
like, music,
moments.
the musical life is just straight up depressing, but if you enjoy doing it, then keep doing it. I think that was
Yeah,
an episode,
yes.
like with Lisa and some Bleeding Gums jazz dude.
Yeah.
She was like, "It sucks," and he's like, "Yeah, but do you like doing it?" And she's like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Well, there you go."
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like, guess what?
stamps the
Everything
brakes.
sucks, but if you like it.
I mean, that's where purpose comes in. There's nothing more important than that.
Okay, the beast is in phase 3, so this is the farthest I've gotten in this section, in this version of him.
So this time you got it.
No, he just grabbed me. I'm dead again. Goodbye, everybody. Haha.
It's like, that's a stream.
Never
Huh,
mind.
just died. Fuck it.
It's like, so this
I
time you
quit.
got him, right? Ah! No, I don't.
So that a yes?
I'll get back to you in a
No.
second.
It's like, let's just say he grabbed me, spit on me, and then ripped my head off, so... No.
So maybe.
Yeah, believe it or not, I'd rather fight him than Rom, though.
I'm dead.
I'll give it another shot. I'll give it one more shot, but then I think, win or lose, I'm going to end the stream there.
One last shot. One last shot.
One last shot. One
But you
last shot.
got it this time, buddy.
And I'm dead. No,
Maybe.
I'm kidding. Jumped in, he immediately went to his 3rd phase at full health. No.
Just decided I'm about to end this man's whole stream.
Oh, yeah. I'm about to end this man's whole career. The thing is, like I said, it's his flap... I almost did just die, but it's his face flap things. Like, they make it super hard to telegraph what he's doing. That being said, I decided to light up the room a bit more, and I'm having a bit better luck. And I accidentally just used the wrong thing, haha. You know what? I'm gonna try dodging the other way from now on, seeing what happens. You know what? I think it's working, boys. The problem is he has this lunge attack that goes him across the room, so then we just reset what we were doing. Where it's like I go in to try to get some hits, and then he just kills me. Alright, that's good. I'm good. I'm good for now. I'm tired.
And that is me dead.
Then he just decides, you know,
Then he just decides to whack me with his skin flaps.
I'm in this.
Which, that kind of sounds like a sexual euphemism. Yeah, I went over to her house and she smacked me with the skin flaps.
Like, gross.
It's like, well, get out of the store. I don't want to talk to you.
Ooh, I gave her the
Yeah,
slap.
dodge. Get out of the way.
Ew. Matt's just, I gave her the skin flaps. Like, ew.
What was this?
Man. Alright, well. Yeah, well, I know there was some dead air there, but I wasn't feeling as bad tonight. We talked for a good amount of time, and the next one will probably come.
Quality.
Yeah, let's say mid quality. Let's not jerk ourselves off here. But-
Real? No.
I know, I was just. But you know, maybe the next one will probably be a few days, maybe a few weeks, maybe at some point before the end of the
Maybe
month.
1,000 years. Hard
Maybe
to say.
1,000 years. Yeah, same PlayStation 4 though.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, Japanese technology runs forever. Knock on wood.
Definitely.
But yeah, next one, maybe we'll talk about Gundam. Hopefully, maybe bore our friend Matt to death with it. But
Something interesting, whatever.
yeah,
it
something
is.
we can talk about. Just that's the thing, is trying to find something to talk about. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention. You know, I'll just do it right now just because I have it up. I found the actual I mean, it's not like a secret, but I found the workshop in the Waking World. So like where I go, the hub world, I found the real life version of it in the world.
Oh, no.
It took me like 6 tries because I kept missing the jump and dying.
Get it eventually, though. That's all that matters.
Let's see, we go here, and there's an item you can get to give to the doll in the dream, so you know you can take things from the real world and bring them into the dream. But I got one of the umbilical cords that I was supposed to get, and there's the actual doll here. And it just says an abandoned doll, and it's like, that's depressing.
Mm.
Yeah, she's not alive, so that's concerning.
Ow.
But there's some areas missing, like there's no extra area on the side here. The old where the old hunters, something in the world just died because they just got 108 blood echoes. where the tombstone where the old Hunters DLC takes place. You find a bone where the messenger like bath is for buying items. There's a chest with doll clothes in it, which is, you know what, I'll put those on. I like having fun.
Momochi. Yeah.
It's like the weakest armor set, I think. It's weaker. It's technically weaker than the stuff you start with.
Oh.
But it just looks so dang fancy with my beard.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You still have that.
Yeah, I think I made this character for like a playthrough with some of my friends, but then we just didn't continue, so I think that was the last day. That was actually like the last time I stopped playing. So about a year.
Something always ropes us back in.
Well, I just decided, I was like, I started getting back into the lore stuff, and I was like, yeah, I'll get back into it. So yeah, I found it, and yeah, it's funny because it's kind of like, technically, I don't know if, I guess that's the church. It's hard to remember like what's the church and like what's what. Like what's the church building and what's like living buildings, but it's like the workshop is like super tucked away, but there's still enough buildings around it where if you looked out you could see it, because it looks like everything in this building looks like a big or small church, you know? It's like, this is someone's house. It's like, it looks like a church.
My home
But,
is
like,
a temple, how dare you?
Yeah, right? But like in the dream, there's like weapons everywhere on the walls, fires lit, but in this one it's like floorboards are pulled up. Not much here. So I will go back to the lantern. Oh, excuse me. And I'm going to check another lantern real quick, because I know there's an encounter you can get, which I don't know if I've already had it or not. But sometimes there's a lantern you can go to where a hunter shows up.
Oh, 2 of them.
Let's see, I finished Eileen's quest, which I'm happy about, because then she didn't... Well, I think it's implied she either moves on or dies. But she's just like, I don't go to the dream anymore, so if I die, I'm dead. And I'm like, oh, that's awful. But also, I'm now like level 103, so woohoo.
Hey-o.
I don't see the guy I'm looking for, but I can go in here and check something, and nope, this guy's still here. The Confederate man. I'm the Confederate man. I guess I haven't crushed enough vermin in front of him. But eventually he like gives you his helmet. So.
It's like, you know what, son, here you go. I don't need it anymore.
Well, he just like leaves. Like, he just leaves and then leaves his helmet, yeah. Oh. But he's the one wearing the constable outfit, like the one I was telling you about the lore before, where one of them, like, showed up and supposedly, like, ate the monster. It's like, man.
It's like, okay. I guess that works.
And he uses, I don't know if he's just, I forget what weapon he uses. But yeah, his helmet is just a bucket with a hole in the eye, like super Resident Evil style.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, then he comes back for it, and he's like, God,
that's the thing.
Took it.
If you summon him, like, you can summon him, I guess. But if you summon him after you take the helmet, he doesn't have the helmet anymore. Which is a neat little touch.
Yeah, he's like, God damn it, where did I leave that thing?
And also your Confederate pose changes. These are the only Confederates I agree with, by the way.
They're good Confederates.
Yeah, they just want to crush the filth that lives in all things.
Sounds good to me. Let's do it.
Alright, well, since I've been, dragging my feet, hey, 1775. Oh, it was almost 1776. That would have been great.
So close.
They will never they'll never take my assault boom hammer.
Exactly.
Year the Marine Corps was born.
Yeah, listen to Matt jerking himself off. I know. No, it's fine to take pride in, you know, what you're part of. You know, I'll make jokes and bash you, but at the same time, it's like, I get it.
Well, no one talks more shit about us than us.
Yeah. As they should. It's, you know. Alright, you only existed because we needed you, that's it. No.
Yeah.
No, it's just making a joke. Alright, well. Oh, sorry. Oh, good night, everybody. Hope you enjoy your time. Nope.
Have a good time.
I mean, you can watch it sometimes, but you know, sometimes don't.
Just don't lie. Don't let them fool you. They don't
Yeah,
know what
that's
they're
fair.
doing.
Go into it from a completely unprepared to be biased, possibly. Alright.
Pretty much.
No more
Make
feet
your own
dragging.
videos.
Good night.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.